Live from the Summit in Houston, Texas, Prime Sports and the Houston Aeros present International Hockey League action. Tonight, the Houston Aeros take on the expansion Orlando Solar Bears. A very pleasant good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Summit. Adam Gordon along with Mike Greenlay. The Aeros and the Solar Bears, the first of 10 meetings this year, and it's a big game for the Aeros. A win tonight could put them 2 points back of the Orlando Solar Bears, and more importantly, maybe get a winning streak started.
Well, Adam, we've talked about what's so important for the Aeros to do before Christmas. A winning streak would be great, and there's some other teams in this league that have won a lot of games in their last 10. Looking at Cleveland, they're 8-1-1. Indianapolis, 8-2-0. Las Vegas, 7-1-2. And Cincinnati, 7-2-1. This is the kind of record the Aeros want to have 9 games from now.
And you look at Paul DiPietro with 5 goals, 3 assists, 8 points in his last several games, but it's been another guy that's really picked it up for the Houston Aeros, and that's Graham Townsend.
Well, Graham Townsend's a big man. He's 6'3", 228, and when he uses his physicalness in front of the net, he gets goals, and we saw him get one on the power play in Milwaukee. He has 2 goals in his last 2 games. They're looking for some big things out of this big crashing forward.
And it's time for the Oshman's Game Plan, brought to you by Oshman Supersports USA. The Aeros only once have won back-to-back games. That means they can't be complacent tonight.
They certainly can't, and that's our first key. They have to come out and be ready and be hungry, and that's our second key. And I'm not talking about raiding the ice box. I'm talking about forcing a team down in their own zone, making them turn over the puck so you can jump on their mistakes. And last, keep improving. I mean, the Aeros have improved on the power play, which is good. They've got to continue that. Secondly, the Aeros have to continue with good goaltending. They got it last game from Troy Gamble in Minnesota. They need it once again.
And you talk about the goaltending for the Houston Aeros. Troy Gamble will get his start in the pipes. And for the Orlando Solar Bears, Alan Bester will get the start. 2 very fine goaltenders. And we look forward to a great hockey game tonight. When we return, we'll discuss that and more with the head coach of the Houston Aeros, Terry Ruskowski. That's next on Prime. Houston Aeros Hockey on Prime Sports is being brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Fly Southwest, the low-fare airline. By your participating Texas Chrysler, Plymouth, Dodge, and Jeep and Eagle dealers. By Columbia HCA Healthcare Corporation, a new commitment to healthcare together. By Texaco Clean System 3 gasolines. Add more life to your car, take it to the star. And by the Gatorade Company. If you're living life to the fullest, you're gonna get thirsty. That's why you need Gatorade Thirst Quencher. Life's a sport, drink it up. Good evening, welcome back to the Summit. Adam Gordon along with Mike Greenlay and our special guest announcer tonight, longtime Denver broadcaster and USA Tuesday Night Fights announcer Al Albert. We'll get to that in a moment, but first let's take a look at our Southwest Airlines starting lineups. And first for the Orlando Solar Bears, Bob Joyce, Mike Hartman, and Neil Eisenhut. We'll start up front with Patrick Neaton, Barry Drager on defense, and in goal, Alan Bester stopped the franchise-high 40 saves in that come-from-behind win against the Detroit Vipers. For the Houston Aeros, again sponsored by Southwest Airlines, Townsend, Arneal, Freer, with Jason Laniel on defense, Troy Gamble in the pipes. Picked up the win Sunday against the Minnesota Moose, and we're underway. Aeros with a puck in their own zone. Mark Laniel turning, forecheck by Joyce. Bob Joyce, of course, one of the top scorers with the Las Vegas Thunder last year. And the Aeros dump the puck into the Orlando zone. Bester covers up, and he will hold on. And we bring in Al Albert. Welcome to Houston.
Well, thank you very much. I'm fulfilling one of my lifelong dreams sitting here between the two of you, and I'm really excited. And also, I'm on a scouting mission for the Tuesday night fights. What better place to find a couple of fighters than right here at an ice hockey rink?
Well, and you've seen the way Greener and I get along. You might find something here.
Exactly. That's why I'm sitting in between you two guys.
Face off to the right side of Alan Bester. And I think, again, we talk about the first 5 minutes, Greener, is the big key tonight for Houston to get over that complacency they have in that second game.
And I think they have the right line out there with Townsend to make some room for Freer and Arneal as well.
Off the draw, the Solar Bears have it near side. Joyce to the line, held by Laniel. It came down low, and Patrick Neaton was there. Chipped it near side. Arneal knocked it down. Trying to find Freer. It went to Bester, and he'll leave it for Neil Eisenhut. He'll chip it out this center ice, and the Aeros are back. Laniel to his own blue line. Scoreless hockey game just underway in the Summit. The Aeros will play 2 here, and then they're back on the road. 5 games in 8 days. Puck at center ice. Townsend across the line. It's deflected away, and Neaton takes over. Neaton, who played last year in San Diego, and you'll probably notice a lot of names that played with San Diego because, of course, Don Waddell is the general manager, who was the general manager in San Diego last year. Barry Drager chipped it out at center ice. Back is Kevin Grant, his own blue line. Lobbed it back, and Miles O'Connor is there. O'Connor to the left side. Long lead pass. Comes to the right side. Conroy at drive. And I think Bester may have gotten a glove on that, and it came out at center ice, and Dave Barr brings it the other way. Across the line, but chipped away, and the Aeros bring it out at center ice. Mark Lamb with Conroy. It's center. Conroy cutting it on goal, but it was jabbed away by Brad Tilley. It came to the near side. Conroy belted along the boards by Barr, and the Solar Bears turn it around. At center ice they come. Busting through the middle, it's Jeff Circa. Trying to flip it down into the Aeros zone. Barr was there, worked on by Miles O'Connor. Sylvain Turgeon to have a look at it. Puck came out in front. The shot stopped. Gamble rebound, and it was tipped away. Loose puck along the near side as Craig Fisher trying to get one loose, and we'll have our first penalty of the night.
I think that penalty is going to come up to either Turgeon or Conroy for hauling down Craig Fisher. And Craig Fisher's in front, and I think he got hooked a little bit as he's tried to spin around and fire the rebound at Troy Gamble. But as he's hauled down to the ice, Conroy will go to the box, and we'll see the Orlando power play for the first time this year. But Craig Fisher doing a lot of work in front. He's a slippery guy, as we talked about before, and Conroy just gets too much of him and drops him to the ice.
Mike, I want to ask you a question. Do these guys understand the importance of this game? Do they talk about it? The Aeros looking ahead. The team above them is Orlando. You have 2 games at home before you hit a tough 5-game road trip. So those kind of things involved in a game like this.
Well, it's funny because guys like Conroy, the team captain who's in the penalty box right now, he's the kind of guy who brings those things up. Guys like Arneal and Freer do as well. They sit in the dressing room and say, hey guys, this is an important game. We have to win our games at home, as Terry Ruskowski said in the paper yesterday.
Off the face-off, Aeros will clear it out at center ice. Their penalty killing has been excellent as of late. And the Solar Bears go back into their own zone. One of the top offensive defensemen you will find in the IHL, Todd Richards. He'll bring it out at center ice to the right side. Craig Fisher across the Aero line. It's dumped into the Aero zone. Donnelly pursued, moved it up the boards, but they couldn't get it out of the end. Puck far side, Donnelly gives it a hard whack, couldn't get it out of there. DiPietro tried to give it a swat, and that puck slices out at center ice. Solar Bears are there, and it's chipped to the left side and across the line, Mark Beaufait. You talked about being hungry, Greener, but I don't think we're thinking of a buffet. We're thinking Mark Beaufait along the left side, trying to move it out in front, but it came out at center ice, and Todd Richards is there. Across the Aero line, left side Beaufait, cutting in, winding, shooting, deflected. It's loose in the slot, and the Aeros come away with it. Freer scampers to center. Across the line he comes. Freer centered for Arneal, ready to go! And Guster with a stick save, and the puck is jabbed away. Patrick Neaton in behind the net. Power play down to a minute on Conroy. Just about 3 minutes gone in the first in a scoreless hockey game. Neaton behind the cage, moves it left to right. Drifts a pass to the left side, gobbled up by Tilley, brings it out at center ice. Tilley hammered it into the Aero zone, takes a weird hop off the corner, but the Aero's able to get it to the line, not out. Tilley held left side, faked the shot, looks for the pass in front, jammed it down. Here's a centering pass, score! It was in there, Craig Duncanson, and it's a power play goal. Solar Bears on the board first. It's a 1-0 hockey game.
Well, you don't want to give up a power play goal this early in the game. That's Duncanson's 9th goal of the season. And he gets a very nice little pass right across the slot for the one-timer, and he puts it between the legs or under the leg of Troy Gamble, who really gets stung on that one, but just a nice little pass. He didn't really have to feed him very hard. He just set it up for him, and Duncanson stepped into it with a nice little snapshot, and he beat Gamble between the legs for his 9th of the season.
I think a goaltender, the worst thing for a goaltender is to have a power play situation this early in the game. You want to get into the game, you want to get warm, and all of a sudden you start facing some shooting practice this early, and you're just not up to it.
Well, yeah, every goaltender likes to get a couple softies really early, some nice shots from the blue line so that he can, get warm and get into the game. But they'll have to make up that one goal as the Orlando Solar Bears score on the power play.
And Duncanson getting the goal. It is his 9th of the year. Puck is at center ice, and it's brought up the left side by Duncanson. Shot the puck into the Aero zone. 1-0 Orlando, 16:20 to play in the first period. It is Miles O'Connor from right to left. He will bring it out of the zone. Lead pass, miss Slivchenko, turn left side, and back down into the Aero zone. Circuit trying to move it ahead. Yo was pinned along the boards by Jeff Reed, and away the Solar Bears came, but Slivchenko was there to drag it away. And away DiPietro came, fired a lead pass for Drager. That was broken up. Solar Bears turn it around. Kerry Clark the shot, and a glove save made by Gamble. He will hold on, and we take timeout. 1-0 the Solar Bears lead it. We'll be back, but first, this word from Southwest Airlines. Back Back inside the Summit along with Mike Greenlay and Al Albert, Adam Gordon with you, and a 1-0 Solar Bear lead.
And it's nice to see that the president and vice president of the Adam Gordon fan club have shown up early for tonight's extravaganza.
Well, it's amazing when you give them a free pregame meal who will show up.
You take care of your fans, don't you?
All two of them. Face off.
And there they were.
Face off to the left side of Troy Gamble. 1-0 hockey game. And off the face off. The Aeros have got it. Jim Pack rolled it up the far side. Conroy. And he gives to Turgeon. Turgeon dumped it in. And after it, it's Mark Lamb. Pushed into the boards. Barry Drager trying to chip it loose. Turgeon trying to dig out. He had 8 shots on goal against Minnesota as we get a whistle. Turgeon has been hot as far as shots. He had 9 shots on goal a week ago against Fort Wayne, which is a team record. Had 8 the other night against Minnesota. I mean, this is a guy that's had more chances than a Monopoly board.
Well, and maybe that's why he changed his number to 16. He used to have number 61. He's changed it to 16, maybe to change luck. I really didn't. I mean, I wasn't aware that he changed it until tonight. And so I would like to talk to him after the game and ask him exactly why. But he does have 6 goals, 5 assists.
He wanted a 1 and a 6 in there somewhere, and he initially asked for 161. But they just weren't able to accommodate him.
Too many numbers, even for a star like Sylvain Turgeon.
Oh, brother. Face off to the right side of Alan Bester. Glad to have you with us tonight on Prime Sports and Super Talk Radio 950 KPRC. Puck shot into the Orlando zone. Solar Bears lead at 1-0. We're going to get a penalty on the Solar Bears for a holding. So we'll get a look at the Aero power play, which it seems like it's eons ago that it was anemic. It's really starting to climb out of the cellar a little bit and perform better.
Well, it is, and it hasn't climbed out of the cellar yet, but it's showing signs of climbing out of the cellar. It is at 11.
That's what I meant.
Yes, exactly. It's at 11% right now, so they're starting to score some goals at least.
And I found if the power play climbs out of the cellar, maybe the team will.
Oh, that's a direct correlation there, as when your special teams start scoring and putting the puck in the net, teams will be less reluctant to take those silly penalties. And this one isn't necessarily silly, but it is a penalty nevertheless, and it's going to be 2 minutes for holding.
Turgeon also did ask for 116, and that didn't work out either.
No,
11% the Aero power play, but I can remember one time when it was in single digits. So as you say, even though it's still dead last in the IHL, they can take it off the respirator. Puck is at center ice, and the Orlando Solar Bears are there, and it's shot in by Mark Beaufait. Out of the net, Gamble leaves for Mark Lamb. First power play of the night for the Aeros, and away they come. Lamb skates it out center ice for Mark Laniel, shoots it into the Solar Bears zone. Left side, it's pushed away by Jeff Circa, played last year for the Turner Cup champion Denver Grizzlies. Puck back to the line, Lamb, long shot, deflected right on, and Bester, I think, got a piece of it. It was centered by Freer, and the Solar Bears were there, and Neaton gets it out at center ice, across the Aero line. Here's Neaton the shot, and it was hammered wide of the net. Pinching down the right side, Neil Eisenhut jammed it along the boards, back to play at Graham Townsend. And, of course, watching Graham Townsend, Mike Greenlay, I think his home on the power play right in front of the cage.
Yeah, you'll see him right in front of the net causing trouble for opposing goaltenders.
And away the Aeros come. Arneal left side, looks for Freer. Arneal sets up left point, Laniel. Quick pass right side for Lamb. Rink wide, Arneal rolled off his stick. And Eisenhut jammed it out at center ice. And the Aeros regroup with 48 seconds on the power play. 14-16 to go in the first. 1-0 Bears lead it.
You know what, Adam? I was practicing with the team yesterday, and I was a victim of their power play practice. So let's see if they can connect here.
Slivchenko the drive, and a stick save. And then smoking down the left side was DiPietro, but he fanned on it. And it's clear to the line, not out. Held in by the Solar Bears. We've got another whistle and a slashing minor coming up, and I think it is to Orlando, which would mean the Aeros are going to get a 2-man advantage as Barry Drager has a seat.
Well, Barry Drager, this carries him. He has a 9-game streak of minor penalties, and this will carry him to 10 games as he takes a slashing minor. Slivchenko taking the shot, and DiPietro just couldn't get the wood on it. But later on in that play, you saw a slashing. And just a good job by Slivchenko getting the puck in there. That's what we talked about. Shot on goal and maybe a rebound. I don't think DiPietro got any wood on that, but if he would have, it could have been a goal as Drager sits for 2 minutes.
Face off just inside the Aero blue line. First 4 or 5 minutes here, it's at least the Aeros, even though they gave up a goal, show a lot of jump in this first period.
I think they're certainly they're excited. They see you're standing, you're into the game, and it just fires a team up.
Well,
you know,
I walked in there and gave him that big pep talk. I'm sure that really sunk in. Conroy, rink wide pass, Slivchenko speeding into the zone. Aeros have a 2-man advantage for 13 seconds. They need to move it quickly. Slivchenko behind the cage, bumped by Richards, dug out by Turgeon, and now Conroy to the line. Here's O'Connor shooting. Oh, went upstairs on Alan Bester. Slivchenko might have gotten a piece of it as well as Bester, but it sails out into the crowd, and a face-off coming to the right side of Bester. 4 seconds left in the 2-man advantage, 13.5 to go in the first, and the Solar Bears lead at 1-0.
Conroy really hummed one there, and it got a little high. Here's the Hump Day Heroes. The Aeros like to play on Wednesday. It's the 2-1-0 on that day, and of course the Solar Bears have a kind of an opposite record at 1-3-0, so hopefully they can continue their Wednesday wins.
Off the draw. Aeros have it. Conroy drifting right side. First power play over. Now the Aeros 5-on-4. DiPietro base of the right circle. Looks for Slivchenko. Back to the line. Conroy tipped it for O'Connor. Back to Conroy. They'll just go back and forth. It came down the left side for Slivchenko. Power play down to 117. Slivy's pass came down to DiPietro. Aeros trying to rotate it down low. And as they cycle the puck out in front, it took a hop off the side of the net, and O'Connor turns it. Slivchenko at the hash marks, left side. Slivchenko to Paul DiPietro, cutting in, looks for the shot. Oh, it's stopped by Bester, and he will hold on with 12:58 to go in the first, and under a minute remaining in the Drager Minor. 1-0 Orlando.
What I think Terry Ruskowski was trying to do in practice the other day, had Mike in goal, trying to encourage the power play of the Houston Aeros, as Mike said, that they scored handily, and we'll see if that works out here.
I never said they scored on me.
Oh, what'd you say?
I never said that. I want that played back. I never said they scored on me.
Well, we were there. We saw they scored on you.
Yeah, well, that's all right, Al. See, Terry Ruskowski, for those of you watching on Prime, Terry's saying, I've got Al Albert in the booth. If I have to put in Al Albert, I'll do it. Off the face-off, Aeros turn the puck over, and here comes Duncanson to center ice. He's got the only goal of the hockey game, 9th of the year. Puck goes into the Aeros zone. Campbell trying to feed Laniel, and the power play down to 45 seconds. Laniel's pass to Arneal, had it tipped away but got it back, streaking right side. Into the Orlando zone it goes. First one there is Freer. Mark Freer into the corner, bumping with Pat Neaton, and dug out Townsend. Give it to Arneal behind the cage, waiting, looks for the pass. Arneal cross-ice pass, picked off, and skated out by Jeff Reed and shot into the Aero zone. And this power play down to 20 seconds. Laniel turning behind the net. Laniel's pass came out to center ice. Freer, rink-wide pass, broken up. And the power play down to 13 seconds as Lamb dumps it into the far corner. Arneal watched by Tilley. It came to Freer, base of the right circle. Mark Freer waiting as he cuts right in on goal. He will deke, he will shoot, and I think he had it deflected and went wide. Power play is over. Teams at 5 aside, and Drager comes out of the box. His rink-wide pass is blocked by Laniel. Eisenhut brings it across the line, but Townsend is there. Give it to Mark Lamb, trying to move it out down the left side, neutral ice. Lamb scampers into the zone, a pass for McCrory. He and Neaton go after it. It's chopped into the corner, which is to the left side of Alan Bester. 1-0 Orlando, 11.5 to go in the first period. Good hockey game here in the early going. Puck dug out, Yo. Jammed away. They battle for it once again, and Scott McCrory gathers it in, base of the right circle, looking for Yo. Donnelly, who's normally a defenseman, playing the right wing right now. Worked it behind the net. McCrory's got it. Sends it out in front. It was tipped away. Yo trying to muscle it out in front. McCrory to Yo. The backhander. Oh, great save by Bester, and he will cover up and he will hold on. It's 1-0 Orlando, 11-12 to go. More IHL action from the Summit when we return.
Welcome back to the Summit. The Solar Bears take an early lead 1-0, but Mike Yo's trying to change that as he gets a puck all alone in front, makes a couple moves, but Bester is better, and he makes a save on Yo.
Yo might have had better luck if he just had the quick release, but instead it was almost like a Mike Yo-Yo with the puck, and he gave Bester the opportunity to stay with it.
He did, and Bester did do a good job as he followed him across the crease, and Yo might have done a better job to go back against the grain, but he still gets the opportunity, which is good to see.
Donnelly is shot into the net, and it's jammed away. And the Aeros looking for some good feedback after their work ethic in this first period. I think that might have been it. Puck came out into the corner, and it's jammed away by Alfie Turcotte. Clear to the line, not out. Turcotte trying to get it again, and Tilley is there. Bumped by Donnelly. It came to the near side. McCrory, he worked it out in front of bouncing puck, and Bester down on his knees to make the save, and he will hold on. 10:48 to play in the first period. Orlando leading this hockey game 1-0.
You know, Terry Ruskowski might be trying to do something with Donnelly and Townsend. I mean, you have Graham Townsend with Arneal and Freer. You have Donnelly with McCrory and Yo. You get guys like Donnelly and Townsend out there. They crash the net. They hit guys in the corner, and all of a sudden they start backing off a little bit and giving those other guys, the guys that are going to put the puck in the net, a little more room.
There haven't been any tough shots yet on Bester, but the shots are now starting to come. The Aeros have outshot the Solar Bears, and the pressure is now starting to heat up around the Orlando net.
Puck at center ice. It's turned by the left side. Jean LeBlanc shoots it into the Aeros zone. Duncanson there to try and dig it out. It was centered, and another penalty coming up. This one holding, and it'll be to the Houston Aeros, and the Orlando Solar Bears will get another crack on the power play as their first crack was made good.
You know, I
might be on Orlando. Pardon me.
I would have to be on Orlando because Orlando had the puck and they shot the puck in front, and if the play would have continued, I would have had a glorious chance. But the whistle was blown, and that's why Duncanson is coming into the zone, and he pulls Grant, and I don't know, somehow gets the puck and feeds it out front. And eventually, the puck's dumped in. The whistle's gone already, but the puck's dumped in the open net. But it looks like Duncanson, who scored the first goal of this game, will get a 2-minute holding call.
It looks like, Al, now the Aeros with their third chance on the power play. They've got to start making things happen here, wouldn't you say?
You know, it starts to get detrimental because they're thinking so much and putting so much pressure on themselves of scoring a power play goal. And the last time they have a 2-man advantage and down score, and now the thinking process comes to play. I think they'd just like to see Greenlay in the Orlando goal. I think that would just remedy the whole situation.
Come on, the Aeros have already been shut out twice this year. They don't need to get shut out again.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hey, there may be a fight breaking out right here in the press.
Where's Sean O'Grady when we need him, right? All right, face-off is at center ice. Folks, we're having fun with you tonight. Hope you enjoy it. It's Adam Gordon along with Mike Greenlay, Hal Albert, in a 1-0 hockey game. Aeros on their third power play tonight. Puck sails all the way down the ice, and Campbell will leave it for the first man back. That's Miles O'Connor. Halfway through the first period and a minute and a half remaining in the Duncanson minor. Aeros on the man advantage. Down the left side, Conroy brings it into the Orlando zone. He was bumped by Neaton, who lost his twig along the near side. Gobbled up by Conroy. Looks in front to the line. It comes to O'Connor. To Conroy, drifting back to the slot. He'll roll it for Vadim Slivchenko. Tipped it to DiPietro to the line. Conroy to DiPietro. 8 points in his last 4 hockey games. Or make that 6 games, rather. Puck came down to the left side. Slivchenko winds, fakes the shot. Tipped away, though, by Neaton. Dranger was there. He'll shoot it off the boards, and down the ice it goes. I'll tell you what, Greener, although the Aeros struggling on the power play, one thing I'm noticing on this power play tonight is they're getting the dump-ins a little bit better, and they're being the first man to the puck.
We call those smart dump-ins, and they're putting them in the corner so they can get them, not so the Orlando Bears can get them. A lot of times you see a team dump a puck in, but they don't do it to their benefit, and they end up turning the puck over.
Puck's at center ice. Miles O'Connor trying to find Townsend, and it was pushed back out at center ice. Aeros have been able to set up lately on the power play. It's how they move the puck and get quality chances that's been the concern. We'll see how they do here. Arneal to Freer, right side across the line. Bumped on the play, but gobbled up by the Aeros. On the line, Lamb, the shot, and Bester! Looked like he made a screen save partially on that one, but he got a blocker on it, covered up with 18 seconds to go in the power play for Houston. Under 9 to play in the first period, and the Solar Bears lead it 1-0.
Good idea by Aeros shooting that one as he didn't have much else to do. Mark Lamb takes a good shot, and it was a sort of a screen as an Aero player was dropped to the ice in front. That was Graham Townsend, which is surprising to see because he is a big man. But Lamb does the right thing as he takes a shot. And you know what? If Townsend would have been left standing there, it would have probably hit him in the chest. But it still would have caused a screen for Bester, and that's a perfect person to put in front of the net is that Graham Townsend. He's a big man.
Face-off to the left side of Alan Bester. Freer, Arneal, Townsend, Laniel, and Jakes. Off the face-off, Jakes has got it right point. Look to shoot it, gives it to Laniel. It's turned down the left side, and it'll go to Scott Arneal. Base of the right circle. Freer's got Todd Richards tied up. Here's Arneal, back to the line. Jakes the one-time shot. Oh, got behind Bester, but somehow drift wide of the net. Centered, Arneal winding, centered again. He let the shot go then, was going to go down to Freer. Freer centered again, and Arneal couldn't get a stick on it. Townsend behind the net, wrestles with Eisenhut behind the cage. They grapple for it, and then Eisenhut covered it up in the crease. But I think they're going to say no as he shoveled it into Bester. If he does, that's usually a penalty shot, but they won't call it. What we will call is timeout. 8:21 to go in the first. Bears lead at 1-0. Alan Bester and the Orlando Solar Bears leading 1-0 over the Houston Aeros, 8:21 to go. Al, my question to you is, I got an email. We get a lot of email, and one of the questions was, what is a solar bear? Help me.
Well, I think they've run out of so many nicknames, they've now gone to the list of the extinct species, but it was between solar bear or solar penguin. And I think the solar bear won out. You know, it was a little more believable. Not much, but a little more.
Oh, you know, and the thing was, I think
a solar anything is something you find in the zoo down south. That's about it.
Oh, man. But it's a great logo. And, you know, Al, we've talked just off and on a bit about the way the IHL has marketed their logos and everything else. They've done a terrific job. Here's a chance in front block. It drizzles down to the left side, and the Solar Bears have it. Tipped away by Houston, but Orlando regroups. Down the near side, Mark Buffet trying to move it out in front. Here's the drive, score! What a goal! Wow, Craig Fisher turned and wound. He looked more like a Remington shotgun letting that one go. Beat Gamble to the glove side, a 2-0 hockey game.
Yeah, I'm handling the gun up there. That was 103 miles an hour, and he had a lot of time in a vulnerable spot.
Well, that spinorama, and boy, did he did put this one right inside the post. He doesn't even get, it doesn't even look like he gets full wood on that. He didn't even have to step into it. He spun around and really let that one go. I mean, he's not the leading scorer on the team for nothing. That's his 11th goal of the season, and he rifles that one into the net.
Guys, 103 miles an hour. That might have been just the speed after it came out.
Well, I tell you what, and the reason is because they've got these nets hooked up to the post so tightly that thing came out in a hurry. But wow, what a slap shot by Craig Fisher. And boy, he puts them up 2-0 early in this game.
An amazing thing, he put it right where he wanted.
And who says he doesn't have eyes in the back of his solar bear head? Oh, wow. Now we know what a solar bear is. Puck is out at center ice. Jakes watched by LeBlanc.
I think that's sonar there.
There you go. It is Turgeon, left side for Conroy. Cutting in, he centered it, but Bester was there to chip it away. To the line, Jakes get it over to Turgeon. Sylvain Turgeon fanned on the shot. It was blocked by LeBlanc, and it moved out at center ice. Out the right side, Alfie Turcotte across the line, pulls up, looks for the pass, hands it to LeBlanc. LeBlanc behind the net. He stuffed it out in front. Now we've got Jakes going in there. They continue to grind it out. Jakes in one of the Solar Bears. And Jakes had one of the Orlando Solar Bears. I think it was it Fisher or was it Alfie Turcotte?
It's Turcotte. Alfie Turcotte. And the thing is, I don't think Turcotte could do anything as Jakes was sitting on his arms. So it was a basically one-sided thing. And they'll either take, I think they'll take both of them to the box. No, they're not. They're going to just take Jakes to the box. And you know, we talked earlier about the streak of penalties that Barry Dreger had. He had nine consecutive games where he's had a 2-minute penalty or more. And Steve Jakes was identical. So now they're both on 10-game streaks, current streaks where they've had at least 2 minutes. But the play develops as Turcotte comes down. Or sorry, that's LeBlanc comes down and tries to wrap the puck, and you saw in the corner of your screen there how Jakes knocked down Alfie Turcotte and then laid on him and held him down.
And with 7:14 left in the first period, this becomes the crucial moment of the game for the Aeros. Aeros score less than 3 goals a game. Here's an opportunity for Orlando to go up 3-0.
Puck is controlled by the Bears. Second power play of the night, and they're 1-1 on the man advantage. In fact, it was 1 shot, 1 goal. How about that for efficiency? Puck is in the Aero end. Jim Pack trying to pry it away. Craig Fisher, who just got the second goal of the hockey game, rolled it down. Dave Barr, base of the right circle. Barr trying to move it along. DiPietro was there, couldn't clear. Here's Fisher, centered the shot. Gamble stacking the pads, makes the save. And the puck comes to the near side. Dave Barr, base of the right circle. It's chipped away, and the Aeros come to center. They had a 3-on-2, but instead Donnelly just skates with it right side and dumps it into the Orlando zone. 6.5 to go in the first period. Orlando leading 2-0, and 1:12 remaining to Jakes. Neutral ice, Patrick Deaton for Orlando shoots it into the zone. It's knocked down by Gamble. Back is Laniel, turns it to the near side. And LeBlanc trying to move it, base of the right circle, cutting in, centered. Oh, Gamble shuffling his feet there and got a piece of it. And Arneal will move it out at center ice. Orlando at neutral. Duncanson, lead pass, right side, Todd Richards. Moves it through the neutral zone, trying to find Alfie Turcotte, blocked by O'Connor, and right back down to the Orlando zone it goes. Puck Puck at center ice. And it's turned by Turcotte. Left side into the arrow end. Blocked by Laniel. Fires it off the boards. Out at center ice. Penalty down to half a minute to Steve Jakes. Arneal is there for Houston. Dumps it into the Orlando zone. And Brad Tilley goes back. Tilley moving left to right. Out at center ice. Tilley busting down the left side. Watched by Lamb. Cutting in center. Here's the shot. Gamble. A stick save. And the puck is cleared to the line. Not out. Held into the left point by Jeff Circa. To Tilley. Wheeling around Conroy. Back to Circa. Looks in front. Center to pass. That went off a stick of Turcotte. And Pack bumps him off the puck, and Conroy cleared. Out at center ice, Lamb. He's got a couple guys to beat. Here he comes shorthanded. Lamb pulls up and then had it swept away. But the Aeros have killed off the power play. It remains 2-0. Puck centered in front, and it was deflected away by Tilley. Picked up by Conroy. Reversed for Lamb behind the net. He tried to center for Turgeon, but couldn't get it out in front. Back to the line for Grant. Could not hold the puck, and it came out at center ice. Jim Pack rolled it into the Orlando zone with under 5 minutes to go in the first period. 2-0 hockey game. Orlando leads it. Here's a big collision at the Aero blue line. Jakes running into one of the Solar Bears, Neil Eisenhut. And the puck is cleared out at center ice and into the Aero zone with 4:40 left in the first period. That's about the only hit we've seen in the early going of this hockey game. Puck came to center. McCrory trying to move it through the neutral zone. Chips for Slivchenko, trying to cut in on Neaton. Shoots. Scores! Beat Western 5-hole. And the Aeros on the board. It's a 2-1 hockey game. And that is a huge Aero tally.
It is, Adam, because it brings the Aeros within one real late into the period. And I tell you what, who says it has to be a hard shot to go into the net? Slivchenko, with his speed down the wing, gets a nice little pass from McCrory, and he just chips this one in for the 8th goal of the season. And what a good pass it was. He just breaks away with his speed. He sees that hole, and he fires it there. Slivchenko, 8th goal of the season, brings the Aeros within one.
And the Aeros not wanting to go down 3-0, showing some character to come back, and Slivchenko right between the legs.
That's the only place he had to go, Adam. And Slivchenko, like I said, didn't have to wind up a lot. That was just a quick little wrist shot, and he finds the hole between Alan Bester's legs. And Alan Bester has a small 5-hole, so it wasn't that easy of a thing to do, but he put it there.
And away the Aeros come. Slivchenko busting down the left side again. Hits the brakes, trying to get away from Neaton. And he jammed it down low. McCrory had Townsend in front, but instead had to shake off a check from Kerry Clark. Puck to the line. Ram it drive. Stopped by Bester again. Wow, a great save and a collision in front. But we take time out. 4:04 to go in the first. We check our faculties after this.
Welcome back to the Summit. Solar Bears leading it 2-1 as Kevin Grant gets a heck of a shot. He gets a good pass from McCrory in the corner. But look at Townsend in front. He's hauled down with a two-leg takedown, and I'm surprised that wasn't a penalty, but Bester came up with a good save. A heck of a shot by Grant as he feeds it through there. But just being hauled down in front is Townsend, but no call on the play.
Off the face off the shot by Yo, and it just goes wide. And Dave Barr clears to Beaufait at center. Beaufait played last year with San Diego, brings it across the line. It came down to Barr, right in, centered, and Gamble got a toe on it, and it's chopped to the near side, but Yo could not clear. It's picked up by Houston. They scamper to center, 3-on-2 if they hurry. Conroy lead pass, DiPietro, and the Aeros are offside with 3:39 to go in the first. And a 2-1 hockey game. Orlando leads it.
Always amazed me the flow, the emotion of a game. How early Troy Gamble having his difficulties only because they're clear, tough, early shots, and you could tell that the Aeros were suffering emotionally. And then you get one goal, and all of a sudden now Bester looks a little shaky. The pressure is all on Orlando, and it seems to be a matter of time before Houston ties this game up.
Puck is in the Orlando zone, held right point by Jakes. That's batted down, and it came out at center. Jakes fell, and it's 2-on-1, but they're going to call a penalty on the Orlando Solar Bears for hooking. And sitting down is Mark Buffet, and it's time for our watch and win. And it's brought to you by our local Chrysler, Plymouth, Dodge, Jeep, and Eagle dealers. Call right now at 777-5772 and identify this week's Aero player. Folks, this is the last one. We'll give you the name of the winner in the first intermission, so stay tuned.
And Beaufait gets a little bit of too much wood on Jakes as he hauls him down. It would have given the Orlando Solar Bears, I think, about a 3-on-1. But Jakes trying to turn around and get the hit, but he's pulled down by Beaufait. And that would have been a 3-on-1 for the Bears, but a good call by the referee tonight.
Hi, Mike. Tell me a little bit. Alan Bester gives up a soft goal, and now all of a sudden he's shorthanded. So what is his feeling now? This is not the time he wanted to see one of his men in the penalty box.
Well, now he knows he has to come up with some big saves because he's likely to get some good shots by the Aeros, who have been showing some pretty good pressure on the power play. So he's thinking, I got to come up with some big saves here.
But maybe wilting a little bit in confidence.
Freer, turn left side. Here's the shot, and Bester
There's the big save.
makes the big save.
And the confidence boosted.
Puck is kicked along the boards. It is controlled by Freer. Base of the right circle to Arneal. To the line, Lamb. Winds, turns it down for Arneal. Aeros have a minute and a half on the power play. Lamb winding, shooting. That was blocked. And it is cleared Buffet, or make it Eisenhut rather. Eisenhut shoots it into the Aeros zone, bounces far side. It's gobbled up by Mike Hartman. He's pushed in there by Arneal, and the Aeros dig it out. Down 2-1, a minute 10 remaining in the power play. Pass center ice, DiPietro speeding it across the Orlando blue line, pulls up far side, drop for Lamb. He has Laniel in front, but instead pulls up at the hash marks. Lamb waiting, had it tipped away, but got it back. Watched by Circa, came out in front. Here's the chance in front. Oh, Turgeon ripped the wrist shot wide of the net. Here's a chance, Turgeon shooting. Oh, and a great save by Alan Bester as he robbed him from the jaws of the twine with a marvelous glove save. And Sylvain Turgeon continues to have chances, but continues to multiply his body weight times 0, and that's what he's had in goals.
Well, Adam, it's a couple of great chances, and we just talked about Bester coming up with some big saves, and he had to here as Lamb feeds him right in front, and Turgeon, the puck was rolling, and hey, look what I found. Bester pulls that one in.
Hey, as a goaltender, you know that feels better than scoring a goal.
Yes, it probably does. But just Turgeon, and look at the Aeros think they've scored. The 2 or 3 of them put their hands in the air, but they couldn't get it. And then again, Turgeon with a chance, but Bester was better on that one.
I talked to him on the airplane, Sylvain Turgeon, on the way back from Minnesota. Not frustrated, just a little concerned. He said, I've never had this many chances in my life and not scored. But, you know, a guy like that's going to do it.
I thought he said, just get away, stop bothering me.
He did.
But you kept on bothering him.
Well,
and you got that scoop.
That's right. I learned that from some of my best friends. Puck controlled by the Aeros out at center ice.
You have a best friend?
Used to. Puck out at center, Slivchenko to DiPietro. He's bumped by Dreger, and Duncanson is there. He'll clear it out at center. It'll go back into the Aeros zone. 1.5 to go in the first period. 5 seconds left on the power play, and right now I think safe to say Bester's been the difference, Greener.
He has. He's made a couple of great saves. Otherwise, the Aeros power play would have a couple notches on it.
Here's a puck along the far side, gobbled up by Craig Fisher, cleared to the line, not out. Held right side, Yo. Nice snap pass to Lamb. Waits in front. Power plays over, though. Team's at 5 aside. Lamb looks for Yo. Base of the right circle in the Orlando zone. He dropped it behind the cage. McCrory was fighting for it, and Dave Barr is there. Cleared it ahead, and Mark Buffet gets it out at center ice with Fisher. 2-on-2. Barr joins the rush. It goes into Aero territory, but Pack is able to clear it. Inside, Mike Yo. Missed McCrory with a lead pass. It rolled into the Orlando zone, and Pat Neaton is there. Neaton turns from left to right, clears one out at neutral, and Mark Buffet, right side, across the line for Orlando. Under a minute to go in the first period. 2-1 Orlando. A centering pass, and that just skids wide of the cage. Barr trying to move it down for Orlando. It's Pack who's there, and he shot it out at center. Todd Richards at his own line. Pass missed Fisher. Goes down to Troy Gamble, and he'll just fire it away for Jakes. 23 seconds to go in the first period. Orlando leads at 2-1, and now in Jakes. Moves it out for Freer. Freer, that looked offsides, but play goes on. Bester poked it away, and it's cleared out at center ice. 10 seconds to go in the period. Puck in the Orlando zone. Freer center. Arneal with a one-time shot. Band on it. Turn Pack down low, and 3 seconds left in the period. The drive, and boy, Townsend put everything into that one. Puck was centered, and then it was stopped by Bester, but that second one would not have counted. But gentlemen, what an outstanding rush there by the Houston Aeros in the final moments.
Well, gentlemen is where gentlemen start your engines. That's what the Aeros did in the closing minutes, and Terry Ruskowski has to be very pleased. They spotted Orlando 2 goals, but came on in a rush, and we now have a game. We were at a point in that first period where Orlando had an opportunity to go up 3-0, and the complexion of the game has completely changed.
But I tell you what, in the last seconds there, Townsend held the puck in, and then he put a lot of pressure on, as the whole team did in the last couple minutes. But Bester was better than anybody there, stopping a lot of great chances. The score should be 3-2 Aeros at least, but it's still 2-1 for the Bears.
And we've played 20 minutes from the summit. We'll have more right after this.
So I said to Henny, of course chickens are more important to Hooters than owls.
Who?
Chickens, that's who.
I beg to differ.
Well, beg all you want. Without chickens, there'd be no chicken sandwiches or chicken salad. Or Hooters' famous chicken wings. There'd be no Hooters if it weren't for chicken.
It's really not wise to even argue the point.
That's because I'm right.
No, that's because you're not going to be around long anyway. Chicken.
He had a lot of spare time late in the first period with the Aeros coming back.
What do goaltenders go through when they got a lot of spare time? Are they thinking about the game, or what?
Well, they become announcers.
In between my next shift, I'm up here.
Puck is back in the Orlando zone. We're expecting Mark Freer after this shift to come up and do a little color, right? Puck is at the Orlando line.
Like you need another person up here.
Let's just put them all up here. Puck is in the Orlando zone. Drager wrestling with Townsend. It's fired along the boards and it's cleared out at center ice by John LeBlanc. Goes back to the Aero blue line. Mark Laniel, as statistician Kimberly Johnson pointed out, 11.5 minutes of ice time. Puck chipped along the boards. It's in the fire circle. Jake's hard off the glass. It's out at center ice, and I'm sure Mark Laniel's ice time will continue to be in those numbers. Orlando cleared it out at center ice. McCrory trying to bounce it ahead. He's run into along the boards by Alfie Turcotte. And the Solar Bears turn it. Drager hammered it into the Aero zone just wide of the net. Far side, Yo chipped it out at center, and Lamb is off to the races. Left side with Townsend. Here's Lamb, winding, shooting, and Bester the glove save. And it's jammed to the far corner. Townsend, rumbling, bumbling, stumbling in the corner, was kicked away by Circa. And it's moved out in front and cleared to center ice by the Bear defense. A minute gone in the second, 2-1 Orlando. Miles O'Connor in his own end, fires one off the boards, not out, held in. Here's a sliding pass, tipped away, and Kevin Grant is there for Houston, and away Turgeon comes. Sylvain Turgeon to Al Conroy, back to Turgeon, shoots, great save by Bester, and then he tried to tuck it in, and it was there for the side of the net, and Bester stopped it. Grant, the drive, and it's deflected away. Mark Lamb turning base of the right circle, centered. Turgeon couldn't get the shot away, and again, Sylvain Turgeon continues to have chances. And you know, for those of you watching on Prime Sports and see Sylvain Turgeon, you might notice a number change. He has gone from 61 to 16, and I'll tell you what, Greener, wearing Mario Cianerone's old number, it hasn't helped. He is continuing to hit the side of the net, or at least finding their goaltenders.
Well, Bester did make a good save as Turgeon made the little pull and drag with the toe and let it go. A good save by Bester, and he just couldn't get the handle on it to tuck it over top of Bester's glove on the rebound. It ends up on the side of the net, and eventually is cleared away. Turgeon will come through with some goals, I guarantee it. He has the kind of player he is, but still having trouble getting a handle on it right now.
Off the face-off, puck goes to Barry Drager. He's watched by Conroy, came to the line. It's jammed down for Lamb. Lamb trying to move it along the boards. Worked on near side by Todd Richards. It came out in front, but Turgeon couldn't pull the trigger, and it was moved out at center ice. 2 minutes gone in the second, and a 2-1 hockey game in favor of the Orlando Solar Bears. Near side, Hartman rolled it into the Aero zone. Far boards, it's picked up by Bob Joyce, and it's moved by Jim Pack out at center ice. You could almost say this Orlando team is a lot of former Las Vegas Thunder. We talked a little bit about Richards, and also about Bob Joyce. Jeff Reed, a former Thunder. The puck brought in, and a chance for Turgeon. The backhand is stopped by Bester. I think Turgeon must be at 5 shots by now.
Third period, he will change his number back to 61.
Here's a shot hammered wide, and if that doesn't work, he might just go to 1 or 6.
I think he's taken about 61 shots already tonight.
Freer across the line with Turgeon, busting in, centered the shot. Great save by Bester, as Townsend had that labeled upstairs, but it was blocked by Alan Bester. Gave him a shoulder to lean on with that one. Laniel across the line, centered it, but nobody there. So the Aeros have created a lot of offensive spark, and Alan Bester has been up to the task. Townsend, the deflected away. It'll come to the near corner. Arneal, base of the right circle, looks in front, jammed it down to the right side. Freer, bumped by Tilley. Freer still with it. Bart Freer pulls up behind the cage, looks for the wraparound, blocked by Bester, and then it came out in front, and it was cleared by the Solar Bears. Wow, unbelievable chances.
Allen has had the best of the Aeros here tonight.
Puck is in the zone in the Orlando end. 5-0 at this point. Shots on goal in favor of the Houston Aeros. Puck shot all the way down the ice. Pursuing is Kerry Clark. Steve Jakes was there, and Gamble says, we better play it, negate the icing. Yo along the left side, trying to roll it ahead. Pushed away by Duncanson, trying to find Clark. It goes into the Aeros zone with 16:20 to go in the second period. And icing is the call. 2-1 Solar Bears back after this. But first, this word from Southwest Airlines.
Welcome back to the Summit. Solar Bears lead it 2-1 still, but Graham Townsend tries to make that distant pass, but he can as Bester gets his shoulder on that one-timer. I tell you what, I've seen a lot of Townsend, and it's all good this game so far.
And that is positive signs for the Aeros as Grant tries to tuck one in there, and he's blasted off the puck. Kerry Clark was in there trying to muscle it free. It came to the line for O'Connor, run into by Clark. Well, if that name sounds familiar, yeah, Wendell Clark's his brother, and they play the same way. Slivchenko trying to move it down. They play hard, they play physical. The only difference is Wendell's got a little more offensive prowess to him, but Kerry Clark, though, definitely knows how to throw his body around, and that's how he's made his living in the IHL. He started with Salt Lake City, was in Portland last year, but now with the Solar Bears.
And you know what? He's only done it twice this year. As you see, he's only scored 2 goals. But every time he scores a goal, or not every time, I should say, but he likes to do that old moonwalk all the way down the center of the ice. I don't think his brother does that.
Well, and I would like to say hi to his other brother if he's listening out in Saskatoon, as Don Clark, who's the head coach of the Saskatoon Blades in the Western League, and he's a good friend of mine.
I used to play for the Blades.
Yes, that's right. But not when Don was there.
No.
Here's a shot by Slivchenko, dribbled away. And
I like to say hello to my friend Murray Schwartz, who might be listening in Brooklyn. Is this the time we say hello to friends?
It's here and past. Kind of like my career. The puck goes down and Neaton is there. And we do have to say hi as our referee tonight is Kevin Atchison. His parents are listening in Edmonton. You know, he came to us and says, you got to say hi to my parents, otherwise I'm going to make all the calls against you.
This is worse than email. Hey. Hey. We have a little extra time here. Anybody else you want to say hello to?
Yeah, if you happen to be watching here at the Summit, come on up to the booth and give us a note. We'll say hi to you.
Save on long distance bills.
You know, Terry Ruskowski has watched the progression of his team. In the beginning of this game, they started as if it was the preseason, and by the end of the first period, they were playing playoff hockey, and that's what they picked up now. They have had a resurgence in the late stages of this hockey game.
And away the Aeros come. Center ice, Lamb trying to push it ahead, blocked by the Solar Bears. And they'll flip it out at center ice as Slivchenko is there, and Conroy sends it back to Jakes in his own end. Jakes pass out at center, blocked by Dreger. And Jakes is there once again. Over to Laniel, chipped it out at center for Lamb, trying to push it ahead, and it goes out of play. And you mentioned email, Alan, real quickly. We have an email address. People, we got a ton of letters, and we'll talk some hockey.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Is that you, Greener? Is that you, Greener?
No, that's not me.
Gordon@Aeros.com.
I tell you, they worked on the makeup. They set up that shot, that picture, at least an hour and a half before they got
Let's dissolve that. Let's take it, track it, find it, lose it, and
you know, you're talking about Slivchenko. What's the hardest name you've had to pronounce in your long and illustrious career as a hockey broadcaster?
Well, and there was a guy in Prince Albert we were talking about in juniors, Nick Polychronopoulos. And that was pretty tough. And then there was another guy, Ivan Volozhanov, was pretty tough as well. Who played?
You'll spell that for us later.
It's Volozhanov.com. I think. I don't know. Puck is back into the Aeros zone. Jakes jammed it out at center, and Traeger is there. Pushed it ahead. Laniel trying to move it, but Fisher takes over. Had his pocket picked by Turgeon, and then he ran into Pat Neaton. Looks like a fire drill out there, and finally Lamb gives it over to Conroy across the line. He had Turgeon cutting to the net, can't get it to him. Tries to wide shoot block, and they continue to jab away at it. Turgeon had about 4 swipes at it. Still loose, score! Al Conroy. They had about 5, 6, 7 chances, and finally the senior prom comes to an end, and they score. It's a 2-2 hockey game. Wow!
I tell you what, that's just. Lamb had it in front of the net, and they were jamming at it. Finally, the rebound goes to Conroy. But look at this, as Turgeon just said, I've had enough. He just starts jamming at it. Finally, the puck comes in front. Bester tries to follow it across, and he makes the save. But then it's Al Conroy teeing it up with a wide-open net, and that was in and out before you could see it. The score, 2-2.
And watch Bester. He's down on his knees, but he'll still make that attempt, flying over with a great pass to an open man. Staying with the puck, and there is Bester, but just too quick. We said it was a matter of time before the Aeros would tie it up. I think it took a little longer than anticipated, but now indeed it is 2-2.
You get enough chances, you're going to make good eventually, and the Aeros do.
6th of the year for Conroy, and the puck back into the Arrow end, and we're tied at 2. It is Scott Arneal trying to find Gord Donnelly. Arneal got it to the line, not out. Duncanson gives to Turcotte, cuts in, shoots. Will the blocker save, and it's turned around. Near side is Turcotte, bumped by Townsend. LeBlanc trying to dig it out of there. They're skate to skate along the near side. Turcotte trying to pick it loose. They go at it along the left side, continue to grapple for a loose puck. Good battle along the boards. Duncanson cuts in, went upstairs, and flipped it wide of the net. Along the far wall, Todd Richards pinched, but shot it right to Freer. And away comes Gord Donnelly. It's shot down the ice. Turgeon and Lamb getting the assist on the goal by Al Conroy as Turcotte was just manhandled at center ice, and we're going to get a charging penalty to the Aeros with 13.5 to go in the second period. Game tied at 2.
Well, Townsend has been really knocking some people around out there. He's really excited, really energized. Maybe a little too much excitement on this play as Alcott dumps it in. And boy, he did, wow, I mean, that had to hurt. He got that one right between the shoulder blades. But
I think he thought he got away with it because the referee was at the other corner, looked to be screened, but I think he heard that shot.
Oh, Alfie Turcotte, I mean, he could sue for whiplash on that one because Townsend gave him a good shot, but you know, it was a good hard hit, but unfortunately Alfie Turcotte didn't have the puck at the time.
Face off right side of Troy Gamble.
And now it's Troy Gamble's turn.
And
he's had some spare time the first 6.5 minutes of this second period watching Alan Bester. And now he's going to feel some pressure. The Bears want to take that lead back.
It is their third power play of the night. They're 1 of 2 on the man advantage. And the Solar Bears play it from behind the cage, and away they will come. Todd Richards, right to left, he will come. Near side, Pat Neaton brings it out center ice. Fisher to the right side, bring it across. Beaufait, drop Fisher, cuts in, couldn't get the shot. Then he knocked one wide, rebound, score! Mark Beaufait. And he jammed it in for the second power play goal of the night, and it's feast or famine on the power play for Beaufait, and it's 3-2 Orlando.
And you know, that's one of those plays that you see that you say, how did that goal go in? Well, basically it started off from the good 3-on-2, but eventually he misses the net. The puck just comes back out off a funny carom, and I tell you what, it was like Conroy's goal. He had nothing but net to shoot at.
And the Bears come back so easily. It takes the Aeros so long with all the pressure they put on, and the Bears with one shot. And the luck, you hear about the luck of the draw. This was the luck of the boards.
Yeah, I tell you what, a lot of times, sometimes players will do that by plan. This one wasn't, as it comes off the boards right to Beaufait.
And it's jammed back into the Aero zone. Gamble leads it. 3-2 hockey game. Orlando leads it. 2 power play goals in 3 opportunities. And you know, we've talked about the power play being the Achilles heel, and you just wonder the penalty killing now with 2 goals, giving up there. And they still struggle a bit on the man disadvantage. Puck came down, base of the right circle for Slivchenko. Trying to wrap it down for Yo. His shot right on to Bester. Stick save. He'll cover up, and he will hold on with 12:38 to go in the second period. Bears lead at 3-2, and we'll be back after this. Solar Bears lead at 3-2 with 12.5 to go in the second period, along with Mike Greenlay, Al Albert with you. And we've had quite a few Prime telecasts. We'll have a few days off before you can get to see our mugs again on Prime. But the Indianapolis Ice come in November 29th at 7 o'clock to take on the Aeros, a game you can see on Prime Sports or on Super Talk Radio KPRC. And for those of you listening on KPRC, we've talked about the Solar Bear uniforms, their road uniforms, kind of a deep purple with a turquoise or a teal blue trim, a little bit of white and black, and it's just a fabulous looking uniform. Puck is in the zone. Here's a backhander by Turgeon, and Bester makes the save. And Sly Turgeon must be around 10 shots by now, folks.
He definitely has put a lot of pucks at that net, and Bester seemed to get in front of all of his shots. The Aeros giving up this goal, and you know, trying to come back and tie it up once again, but Turgeon gets the puck on his backhand, and the backhand's not as hard of a shot. It can be deceiving if you put it in the right spot, and this time it hits Bester right in the chest. But you know, Turgeon must be saying to himself, when is one of these going to go in for me?
You say 10 shots, we're not even halfway through the game.
And you know what's funny is you talk about a cold shooter in basketball. It's no different. You just got to shoot through it, I think.
Got to keep on shooting. And Turgeon is right around the net. I mean, certainly can't stop. And continuing to put the pressure on Bester will add up and pay dividends in the end.
Puck is in the Orlando zone, cleared out at center ice. It skipped through Laniel and into the Arrow end. Jakes is there. He'll roll it out to the line. Dreger held, but it sliced over his stick and out at center ice. Bumped by Conroy. Here comes Turgeon across the line. Turgeon wanted to pull the trigger, and it went down to Bester and but that's still a shot.
And it goes as a shot on goal.
Well, one of the easier saves that Bester's had to make on slide.
You know, Mike, you have to ask these questions. He's shooting. Is a hot goaltender? Is he not putting the shots where he should be shooting? Is he rushing the shots? You know, these questions you have to ask with Turgeon.
And you know, he's probably asking himself the same questions, and that's the thing. He's coming down. He's saying, "Okay, where do I have to put this one right inside the bar, right inside the post to get it by him?" And sometimes the answer is yes, and sometimes he's just not getting all the wood on it. So you're dead on when you say you have to just fight through it, keep shooting, because eventually something will go in.
Puck controlled by Houston, rolled down deep into the Orlando zone, and boy, they've had their chances in this period.
12 shots already by the Aeros, and we've only played 8 minutes.
3 for the Bears. It's shot into the Arrow end with 11:50 to go in the second period. Donnelly turns near side. He was watched by Turcotte. LeBlanc took it away and turned a shot into Campbell, stuck aside. Puck into the far corner. LeBlanc gives to Duncanson, centered and fanned on, and Arneal will let it roll out to center ice. Solar Bears trying to move it up ice, but it's picked up by Freer, and he'll bring it across the line for Houston. Sidestep a Turcotte check, and it is Townsend. Shot just whipped wide. Arneal turns base of the left circle as Freer being manhandled away from the play by Turcotte, but it's turned away by the Solar Bears. Out at center ice, into the Arrow zone. Donnelly misplayed it as Duncanson pried it away. Picked up by Orlando. Here's a centering pass by LeBlanc. Gamble the stick save. Heaton trying to move down the left side. Pushed it away into the near corner. They continue to go at it stride for stride near side, but Pack was there, and the Arrows have a 2-on-1. Freer with Arneal, right side, right in on goal. Great save by Pester as Freer slammed one in there in a left pad save.
And he was looking for the 5-hole, tried to put it right inside.
Puck is brought in. Dave Barr centered one. It was pushed away, and it's out at center ice. Mike Yeo trying to move it ahead. Here's Slivchenko, right side. Trying to flip it down along. It was jumped on by Circa and cleared out at center ice. Across the line, Fisher gives it near side. Dave Barr centered. Circa looks for the shot in front. It was centered, but tipped away. Slivchenko over skated, but DiPietro clears for Slivchenko, and it goes into the Orlando zone. Slivy trying to move right side, cutting in on goal. The shot, they score! Mike Yeo from Slivchenko, and the Arrows have tied the hockey game at 3.
What a play. Slivchenko just keeps pumping his legs, and eventually he's rewarded as the puck goes over to Mike Yeo, and Mike Yeo made no doubt about it. That's Mike Yeo's third goal of the year, and all the work's done here by Slivchenko, who gives a pass, and Mike Yeo, all he has to do is direct it in the net, as it was such a hard pass, and Slivchenko feeds it across. Good job by Yeo to keep his eye on that, and Bester saying, "I can't believe that." But the tie game, 3-3.
Face off at center ice, and I'll tell you, the Arrows showing a lot of composure, coming right back to tie it.
This is turning into quite a feisty affair. You know, you take a look at the Aeros season, you lose your first 6 games, but if they win this one tonight, they've been .500 since that time. This would make them 7-7, and you really start turning the season around with a game like this.
Well, when you think of the start the Arrows had, sometimes you wished you had a 7-7.
That's right, but they all count.
Here come the Orlando Solar Bears. Hartman rolled it into the Arrow end. Gamble slow, chipped it near side. Eisenhut trying to knock it down, and the Solar Bears move it out at center ice. It's picked up by the Bears and shot in by Brad Tilley into the Arrow end. Jake's turn left side, run into by Hartman. Cleared to the line, not out. Here's the drive. Gamble the save, rebound. Oh, and that just skidded wide of the cage. That got by Gamble, but went wide of the net, and Conroy is there. Center ice for Lamb. Mark Lamb turns one for Turgeon, and he will dump the puck in. And out of the net, Brad Tilley. Tilley from right to left, off the boards, came out at center. Jim Pack is there with 9:10 to go in the second period. Hockey game tied at 3. Here come the Arrows the other way. Center turns, Townsend will drive, and he spanked it wide of the net, and then Bester covers up and play whistled down. 9:03 to go in the second period, and a 3-3 hockey game. And Al Albert, Mike Greenlay, we've had ourselves a Pizza Hut pizza delivered to us, and we hope you can see the coupon here, and we want to thank Pizza Hut for delivering this to us because you'll love the stuff that Pizza Hut has.
Hey, and I have one word to say.
Thank you very much.
Yummy. Yummy.
Well, that's Mike's. What about us?
Okay.
No, Greeners is coming. It's the double. It's the doubles. That's for you and
Hey,
I.
this thing better have the cheese in the crust or I'm sending it back.
Oh, man. Thank you, Pizza Hut. And I love pizza. We'll enjoy it after the game. I love cold pizza, too. But this is nice and hot right now.
In other words, whatever you mention on the air, they'll send it?
Yeah, well.
Okay, let's see.
I love
What
my
do we
Lexus.
love? Yeah.
I love my new Dodge Dakota. I would love a new Dodge or Jeep. Here's a penalty coming up to the Orlando Solar Bears, and I think that's what the Aeros would like to have. And when we return, we'll bring it to you. 3-3 hockey game, 8:41 to go. Al, Mike, and I will be back after this. Along with Al Albert, Mike Greenlay, Adam Gordon, and the Pizza Man.
Yes, I think we're going to, it's an incredible box of pizza. Not much is left here.
The cheese is in the crust. Oh,
I think I'm going to take it now because I'm the only one not eating the pizza.
all right.
So,
The Aeros, Al's got a power play on the pizza, but the Aeros have a power play on the ice. Freer, Arneal, Townsend with Lamb and Laniel. Face off left side of Bester. They joust for it, and the Solar Bears win the draw. It's rolled along the far side, and Dave Barr will clear it out to center ice. Laniel trying to play it, and he'll send it back for Mark Lamb. Lamb right side in his own end. He'll turn it from left to right. Lamb, quick pass. And here come the Aeros. It's shot in, stuck aside by Bester. Arneal was there trying to poke it ahead. A 3-3 game. Aeros have yet to lead in this hockey game. They battle for it near side. Townsend trying to find Arneal base of the right circle. Arneal sets up camp behind the cage. It came to the near side for Lamb. Rolled it left side. Laniel winding, shooting. Great save. Bester rebound. And it's jammed away out at center. And it's picked up by Lamb. 8 minutes to go in the period, 1:17 to go in the power play in a 3-3 hockey game. Solar Bears shoot it down the ice.
You know what, Adam? So far this game, the Aeros have had consistent pressure all the time, and this is the first time I've seen them play this hard, this long.
And the Aeros turn it out. This is a very encouraging sign the way this second period has been played.
This is a scheduled 12-round fight.
And it is turned by DiPietro to the left side. O'Connor trying to get it to Slivchenko along the dashers. Turgeon dig it out, but it was pushed by Buffet. And it's clear to the line and out at center ice. Here come the Solar Bears shorthanded. Hartman across the line, looks in front for Todd Richards, but instead gently rolled it to the Aero net. In behind Gamble, slows for Miles O'Connor. Left to right he comes. O'Connor pass left side for Conroy. He'll shoot it into the Orlando zone. Bester the save, and it's hammered by Tilly all the way down the ice. 7:07 to go in the second. 3-3 game, 24 seconds remaining in the power play, and the Aeros come again. It is O'Connor right side for Slivchenko. What a game he's having, a goal and an assist. Shoots it into the Orlando zone. Along the far side, O'Connor at the hash marks, jammed it for Slivchenko. And Conroy trying to gobble it up there, skate to skate in the near side. Slivchenko base of the right circle, and it's fired all the way down the ice. 3-3 game, 6:42 to go in the second period, and the power play over. Teams at 5 aside, and Jakes turns it around. For Houston, pass center ice, Yo. Ahead for Arneal. Here comes Arneal left side, winding, shooting, and a big blistering slap shot. It's sailed wide of the net. Back behind Arneal again. He centered it, got through skates, turned Yo. Mike Yo centered it, but right to a Solar Bear, and Tilly cleared it ahead to Fisher. And out to center ice they come. It is Fisher trying to sidestep a check, blocked by Jim Pack, and he'll roll that heads up into the Orlando bench with 6:13 to go in the second. 3-3 game.
You know, in a tale of two goaltenders, you have on one side Bester, who may be getting close to exhaustion. He's faced close to 30 shots. On the other side, Troy Gamble, who may be getting extremely cold. Which position, Mike, would you rather be in right now?
Well, I tell you what, and I know it sounds silly, but I'd rather be in Alan Bester's position. I guess part of goaltending is mental. Actually, most of goaltending is mental. You know you can do it, the physical part. It's just that sometimes if you get a lull there, you have to stay concentrated. You have to stay mentally ready. But when you're getting a lot of shots, you're into the game, and so it's easy to stay mentally ready.
Well, he's faced 27 shots. Troy Gamble has faced only 13, but it's still knotted up on the scoreboard.
And it's Jakes behind the net. Steve Jakes for Houston plays peekaboo with Buffet, and the Solar Bears set up in their trap. Puck near side, McCrory. And it's controlled by Laniel. Headman pass to Conroy. Ooh, sidestep a check if he can hurry. He's got a 2-on-1, but he couldn't get there. He did center it, but Dave Barr was there. Good hustle by Conroy. Back to the line, Laniel. The one-time shot right out, and Bester with a glove save. A Glover save. What is that?
That's a Danny Glover save.
Yeah, or Freddie Glover save. Hey, you know, in honor of the game Buffet is playing, you know, we have a little pizza buffet going on right up here in the press area.
Let's take a look at the Central Division standings. This is a good Central Division battle between Orlando and Houston. 7-8-2 are the Bears, just 4 points up on Houston. And, you know, Cleveland and Detroit starting to pull away a little bit, but it's so early, Greener, that, you know, if the Aeros can put together that run you talked about in the open, they're right back in it.
And you know what? You look at Orlando, who leads the Aeros by 4 points, but you have to look at the number of games they've played. The Aeros have played 2 more games than the Orlando Solar Bears. So if the Solar Bears win those 2 games, they'll be 8 points. So they really need this win, Adam.
Clock is controlled by Orlando. Far side, Jeff Circa jammed it along the near side, and Kevin Grant could not hold it in and went back at center, and Freer was there. Over to O'Connor, but it's knocked away Duncanson, and it's picked away almost by Arneal. Oh, he had a marvelous chance in front. Alfie caught across the line, winding, fakes the shot, cuts in front, lost the puck, and Arneal takes over. 5.5 to go in the second period, and a 3-3 hockey game. It goes down into the Orlando end. Townsend pursues. He jabbed it near side, and it's picked up by Duncanson. Duncanson moves it out at center, and then Kevin Grant lowers the boom on Turcotte, drilled him into next Thursday. And here come the Aeros. Wow, big hit there. It is Townsend. Moves it down the left side. Skating away from Tilley. It came to O'Connor. Looks for the shot. It came down for Freer. Trying to sidestep a check. It was centered. And Townsend blasted it wide. LeBlanc, far side, trying to clear. Pinched by O'Connor. And the puck frozen in play. Whistle down with 4:48 to go in the second period. It's the Aeros 3, the Solar Bears 3. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. We have a tied game, and you know why the Aeros signed Kevin Grant? It's for hits like this as he steps up on Alfie Turcotte and lowers the boom. Turcotte, that's a second big hit he's taken tonight. He's going to have some ice bags on him by the end of the game, but a great hit by Grant, and that's the kind of action that the Aeros need to keep the play going in their favor.
Off the draw, Aeros have it leading in the shot department, 28-13. Aeros trying to move it. DiPietro behind the net, got it in front, but it was tipped away by the Solar Bears out at center ice. Orlando is there. Todd Richards ripped it into the Aeros zone, and Gord Donnelly goes back. He's given a pretty good sharp check into the corner by Jeff Reed. Puck near side, and it's pushed along the near side. Neil Eisenhut, but it came out at center. Slivchenko couldn't turn it around, and Reed fired it into the Aero end. Knocked down by Gamble. Back goes Gord Donnelly. He's bumped along the boards. Jim Pack in a battle there. Slivchenko trying to move it. Neaton intercepted. Neaton moving left side, trying to center, and it was jabbed by Donnelly. Here's a puck in behind the net, centered in front. Wow, one of the Solar Bears. It was Mike Hartman that stuck in behind the Aero defense, had a marvelous chance, but partially fanned on it. And the puck back in the Orlando zone. Richards off the glass outside for Hartman. Pack tries to push it away as they go skate to skate along the far boards, and DiPietro came away with it for Houston. Paul DiPietro, he's past Slivchenko. He's in on goal. Here's Slivy. Hit the post. Wow. Slivchenko with a drive that hit the post. That puck had Dos Vidania written all over it, baby, but all he could say was Pajala stuff. Please go in the net, and nothing was there.
What a great job by Slivchenko, who has had a jump on everyone tonight. He's got that speed going, and he picks up the puck at the red line, and he's off to the races, and he just rifles one. It beats Bester, but oh goodness, it hits the post. Somebody answer the phone. The bells are ringing. Slivchenko tees one up, and I tell you what, it's a game of inches, and that's why right there.
And the Aeros with a face-off to the left side of Alan Bester in the Aero bench. Slivy shaking his head, going, I had him beat. But a face-off now between Mark Lamb and Mark Buffet, and the Aeros win the draw. Al Conroy cutting in, centered. Here's the shot block. Laniel, we've got a delayed penalty coming up to the Orlando Solar Bears. Puck centered. Turgeon one-time shot blocked. Jake's trying to turn it, and here is Laniel in his own end, hooks it high in the air. That should score the runner from third, but it goes into the Orlando zone. Drager to play it, and whistle halts action with 3:22 to go in the second period. And Al Albert referred to the power play as struggling tonight, and he's absolutely right. They are 0 for 5 on the man advantage. They'll get their 6th here.
They will, but the thing that I like is they've had a lot of good pressure. I mean, sometimes you're not going to get the goal, but the pressure you put on helps your momentum. And I tell you what, we've seen plenty of momentum 5-on-5. So hopefully they can put one by Bester on the power play, because Bester's been one of the big reasons why the Aeros can't score on the power play.
And a face-off to the left side of Alan Bester. Terry Ruskowski trying to get something that will click on the power play, and he's got DiPietro out there with Turgeon, Lamb, Conroy, and O'Connor.
I like what he's got out there. Look at all these guys. They all are good with the puck. They all can move it around well, and they all can shoot well. I hope to see Turgeon maybe find a couple of chances here. You might see him bury one.
Face-off left of Alan Bester. DiPietro trying to win the draw. Sticks her down. Drop of the puck. It is controlled by Orlando in the circles, though. And Duncanson trying to clear it to the line. Not out. Held in by O'Connor. Jammed it down low. But Tilly is there, and he had a weak clearing attempt. That'll be held in by Conroy. Right side down for Lamb. Base of the right circle. Mark Lamb worked it down. Turgeon at the hash marks. Waiting to the line. Conroy couldn't pull the trigger. Now it's O'Connor. Miles O'Connor getting set for Conroy. Tipped it down. Turgeon trying to move it. Here's Conroy. Waiting. Over to O'Connor. Look for the shot. Instead can't pull the trigger. It is DiPietro at the hash mark. Centered, but it hits skates. And the Solar Bears will clear it. Jeff Reed right back down the ice. 1:22 left in the power play for Houston. 2:42 to go in the second, and a 3-3 game. Aeros showing patience, but couldn't really find a legitimate scoring opportunity there. At center ice, Solar Bears have the puck. They'll shoot it into the arrow end, and Houston back, and it's Miles O'Connor. O'Connor playing peekaboo a little bit with the Orlando forechecking of Neil Eisenhut. And away O'Connor will come from left to right. Under a minute to go in the power play. Slivchenko had it tipped away and right back down the ice. The struggles continue, and the Boo Birds coming out at the Summit. They have really seen this power play struggle at home all year long. DiPietro fired it into the Orlando zone. It'll come to the near side. It was pushed away by Jeff Circa, not out. DiPietro cutting in. Down to the right side for Lamb. 38 on the power play. Behind the net. DiPietro for Lamb. Waiting. Looks in front. Still with it. Drifts back toward a left point. Hands it down for DiPietro to Lamb. Sizes up the line, and it was blocked by Circa. And right back out to center ice it goes. Power play down to 22nd, and we've got another penalty. This one is on Houston for tripping, and with 1:43 to go in the second period, Orlando will get a crack at another power play as Sylvain Turgeon will go to the penalty box, and we'll go 4-on-4 for 22 seconds, and then the remainder of the period will be skated on the power play by Orlando.
Adam, it's hard to believe that a team like the Aeros can't get something going on the power play, and then a team like Orlando, who does have a lot of talent, seems to score at will on the power play, and not just at will, so quickly. I mean, the power play for Orlando has just turned around on maybe 3 or 4 shots have scored 2 goals on the power play alone. But Turgeon will get the tripping call, and we'll see that Orlando power play again. Hopefully the Aeros can kill this one
And
off.
Alan Bester knows one thing: Turgeon will not get any shots off from there
For the next 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Although, you know what? He's tried it from everywhere else. Maybe
That's
he
right,
should try one from there.
Maybe it'll work from there.
Puck is in the Aero zone. We're 4-on-4 hockey for another 13 seconds. Dave Barr for Orlando had it pushed away, but it came to the line. Richards a drive. That changed direction. Barr trying to reach for it. He moved it out in front. First one there was Arneal. He got it out at center ice. Freer trying to advance it, and the Solar Bears on the power play for 1:20 of the period. There's 1:36 left in the power play, so if they don't score here, they will get about 17 seconds of a power play to start the third period. 3-3 hockey game, 1:12 to go in the period, and Arneal just sweeps it down the ice. Alan Bester is out to slow it, and the Solar Bears regroup as the Aeros making changes on the go. Right to left, Pat Neaton has got it for Orlando. Pass to the near side, Richards shot it into the arrow end. Gamble lets it slice to the far side. LeBlanc was there. Conroy trying to pinch there. They're skate to skate along the boards. Back to the line, but Neaton couldn't hold it in. And back at center ice, Todd Richards scampering back to his blue line. Forecheck by Conroy. Good forechecking by Al Conroy. But the puck turned to Pat Neaton, but Conroy doing it all. He's got a chance. Yo is in for Conroy. Oh, he hit the post. That play a little slow to develop. I'm not sure why, but Yo had a marvelous chance. He kind of put it behind Al Conroy, but he still made it a nice chance. And then Kevin Grant, another hit on Turcotte. Is that a 10 on his sweater or a 5? Maybe he cut him down in half, and half of 10 is 5. Puck is in the Aero zone, but Kevin Grant has lowered the boom twice on Alfie Turcotte. Oh, man, and the puck to center. Yo for Grant. Trying to bring away, but the Solar Bears were there, and Conroy brought it in offsides with 7 seconds to go. And, well, Al, you said at the top of the cast you wanted to see some physical play, and Kevin Grant must have heard you tonight.
Well, it's good physical play. Nothing ugly, nothing dirty, nothing that qualifies for the Tuesday night fights, but it's good, hard-checking action. And quite frankly, it was Orlando who brought it out first. They were playing the body extremely well in the first period, but now Houston has completely taken over the territorial aspect of this hockey game. Nice play by Yo. I mean, he was thinking the right thing, although the pass was a pass that had a teammate in a really inopportune space on the ice. You know, I think Yo would have been better off if he actually just took the shot and looked for the rebound.
And the Aeros come away. DiPietro was bumped off the puck by Circa. And it's turned around by the Orlando Solar Bears. Tillian behind the net. Bumped by DiPietro, and the buzzer sounds, ending this second period. But the Aeros and the Solar Bears have skated to a 3-3 tie after 40 minutes of action. And Mike Greenley, your thoughts?
I tell you what, Adam, that was a fast-paced period. I look up and there's 7.8 seconds left. You say, wow, there was a lot of shooting in that period, a lot of hitting, as we referred to. I tell you what, this kind of hockey is good for the Aeros, and it's good for the fans.
Being a former goaltender, Al, you must like the way the Tenders are playing.
Well, I specifically like the way Alan Bester is playing. Troy Gamble, he would like to taste a few more shots, but Bester has been all over the place, and there's no question that he's been the difference of the game. He reminds me of a young Mike Greenley.
As if Greener was old. All right. It's a 3-3 hockey game. Al and I will have more from the Summit after this. 3-3 hockey game along with Mike Greenlay, Al Albert. I'm Adam Gordon, and let's take a look at tonight's second period stats brought to you by Texas Jeep and Eagle dealers. 29-13 the shots on goal, and that shows Alan Bester has played very well. 26 saves. Power plays, that's a story. Orlando 2 for 3. The Aeros 0 for 6. 30 face-offs won by the Aeros, 13 for the Solar Bears. And for those of you watching on Prime, see the penalty minutes. 6 for 12 for the Solar Bears, 4 for 8 for the Houston Aeros. Drop of the puck. We're underway with period number 3 in a 3-3 hockey game. It has been a great game from start to this point. And the Solar Bears have got it. Remember, they're on the power play, but only for another 5 seconds. Beaufait rolled it into the Aero zone. Jakes chases back, but it was slowed by Gamble. Jakes turns far side. He's hooked on the play, but turns Jean back out on the ice. Puck frozen. We're going to get a whistle. There it is in play. Is whistled down, and Mark Freer trying to break the scoring slump that he's been in pretty well all year, but like we said, we're just waiting for him to explode out of the gate.
You know, you could hit a hot goaltender at any time, but I think Mike made the point earlier, the key point, that this is the longest that the Aeros have played this well, this consistently so far this year. Terry Ruskowski has had 2 solid periods from him, and that's what he's been looking for and is the basis for the rest of the season.
Arneal rolled it into the Orlando zone. Richards after Townsend rolled him off the puck. Arneal turned with a shot that bounced up to Bester. So Scott Arneal trying to do his Frank Fisher imitation with that turn and slam and nearly beat Bester. Came to center ice. Arneal fired it back into the Orlando zone where Circa is there. Sized up by Freer, and it's turned over to Townsend. Graham Townsend behind Freer trying to center it. It hit the skate of Circa. Beaufait chased it far corner, came to the line, held in by Jakes, trying to slam it down along the boards. Dave Barr is there. He'll scamper out at center ice. Pass brought in Beaufait, dropped it for Fisher. It was in his skates, tackled by Laniel, and the Aeros move it out at center ice. Mark Laniel had 8.5 minutes of ice time for 20 total minutes through 2 periods, so a little drop off than what we're used to in that second period for Laniel. At center ice, it's Kerry Clark trying to bring it across the line, and then Grant with a big check along the boards as he fired a nice body check on Neil Eisenhut. Puck came in front, and Yo was there. He'll move it out at center ice. Yo looking for Slivchenko across the line. Yo trying to move in, but Patrick Neaton was there to jam him off the puck. They're stride for stride behind the net. It was kicked to the line, and Duncanson can't clear. Kevin Grant has played an outstanding hockey game. Mike Greenlay.
He has thrown his weight around. It looks like he's enjoying himself out there every time he lowers the boom on someone. He really enjoys that, and he's doing a lot of it.
And the puck is cleared by Grant out at center ice. This is a frustrated hockey player. I mean, of course, he misses the start of the season with a broken thumb and then misses some more games with a bad ankle. Good to see him back in the lineup. He only missed 2 games with the ankle. That Milwaukee road trip and Minnesota. Here comes Slivchenko. Give it out to Arniel across line. He's got Slivy cutting to the net. Dropped it for Mark Lamb, speeding right side, trying to cut in. Lamb looking for the pass. It is Lamb with the afterburner to the line for Pack. The shot is blocked by Neaton. Lamb held it in. Great forechecking by Lamb as he tried to slide it down, but it was broken up by Jeff Reed. Cleared out at center ice. That's offsides. And play whistle down. 2.5 gone in the third period, and a 3-3 hockey game. And Sly Turgeon a little shaken up on his last shift.
I think he took a slash across the hand as you see Jerry putting his fingers in Sly's hand and asking him to squeeze to see how much grip strength he has there. I tell you what, you don't want to lose a guy like him, because even though he hasn't scored this game, he has definitely pumped a lot of shots at Bester, and that just goes to tiring him out. But what happens, I think, is he takes one on the hand as the shots as Patrick Neaton tries to dump it in, and ooh, that smarts, because those glove hands, those players' gloves aren't as well padded as, of course, a goaltender's glove.
Face-off is at center ice, and it's Mark Lamb against Alfie Turcotte, and the Aeros win the draw. It's slammed back into the Orlando zone. Near side chip to the line. It's out at center ice and fired into the Aeros zone. Down the right side, it's Mike Hartman trying to cut in. Donnelly's got tied up. Turcotte turned behind the net. Pack has him locked up as they go stride for stride in behind. Pack trying to keep him locked up, and he worked the puck away, jammed near corner, and there was Scott McCrory to pry it out to center ice. It'll bounce back into the Orlando zone. This has been a little back and forth. We haven't seen the offensive rushes that we've seen in the previous two periods.
It looks now like it's the first round in boxing, a feeling out process.
And a whistle stopping play on the icing call. Let's take timeout. It's a 3-3 game, and we'll be right back. But first, this word from Southwest Airlines.
Cars that can benefit from higher octane.
Frank, we're late.
Texaco Clean System 3 Power Plus and Power Premium are formulated to clean your engine's intake valves, fuel injectors, and combustion chambers while you're driving for smooth starts and sure acceleration. Just give us 5 tanks, and we think you'll see a difference. A word of advice, though. Maybe you'd better leave the windows rolled up.
Add more life to your car. Take it to the star.
Face off to the right side of Alan Bester in a 3-3 hockey game. Freer, Townsend, and Arniel with Laniel and Jakes. And Freer going to try it again. Drop of the puck, and Freer wins the draw. Freer trying to move it out in front. It was blocked, and Buffet cleared out at center for Dave Barr. Barr shot it into the Aeros zone. Gamble slowed, and Steve Jakes trying to pump it along the boards. He was run into by a Solar Bear, but the Aeros were able to clear it, and it's Scott Arniel. He'll bring it out at center ice. Moving into the Orlando zone. Townsend lost an edge, crashed and burned along the boards. They battle for it along the boards. Dug out Townsend. Graham Townsend sends one for Freer. Looks in front. The deflected shot is blocked, and Buffet gets it out at center ice. 3.5 gone in the third in a 3-3 hockey game. Freer moves it out at into center ice, and pursuing is Scott Arniel. And that's chipped away as the Solar Bears trying to move it near side, and it's Mark Buffet. Get it out at center ice for Dave Barr. Goes into the Aero zone. Icing indicated. And back to play it is Kevin Grant, and icing is the call with 4 minutes gone in the third in a 3-3 game. And let's take a look at tonight's game summary brought to you by Columbia Healthcare Systems. Orlando getting the first 2 goals. Craig Duncanson and Craig Fisher getting the Orlando goals, but then Vadim Slivchenko got a huge goal, beating Alan Bester to the 5-hole at 15:32, and that's how we found ourselves 2-1 at that point. Then in the second period, Conroy tied it at 2 at 5:33 from Lamb and Turgeon. Mark Buffet came right back on the power play at 6:51 to give the Orlando Solar Bears a 3-2 lead. But then Mike Yeo late in that second period, 1948. There's Yossi. Tied it at 3. He has been outstanding in his last 2-3 weeks.
He has been. He's really starting to come into his own as a player, I tell you, Adam.
Off the draw, here's Kevin Grant. Shot wide of the net. And it moves out at center ice and into the arrow end. Gamble will slow, and he will flip it along the boards. Near side, Yo bumped along the near side by Eisenhut. The Aeros trying to clear it, and Grant was able to move it out at center ice. We're so used to seeing Laniel and how well he's played. This is great to get another defenseman in the rush the way Kevin Grant has played tonight. Eisenhut ripped it into the Orlando zone. Kerry Clark lets it come back to the left side. Drager intercepted though by Slivchenko, and Yo brings it up 2-on-2 with DiPietro. Lost the handle till he cleared it out at center ice. And the Solar Bears there. Kerry Clark battling with Slivchenko. Gobbled up by Yo, and away he will come. Yo across the line with Slivchenko. Yo pushed on the play, dumped the puck, and needing a line change, and all the Aeros will come off and bring out a fresh line of Turgeon Lamb and Al Conroy. Puck goes into the Aero zone. Another icing call as the Aeros Jim Pack gets there, and they'll bring the face-off all the way down the ice with 5 minutes gone in the third and a 3-3 hockey game. Attention all fans, Houston Aeros season ticket packages are on sale now for the 95-96 season. Avoid the draft and list today. Call 627-AERO. That's 627-AERO for more information. Join the Aero Force and get ready for the battle of a lifetime. Packages start as low as $120. That's 627-AERO. And Al Albert, have you bought your season tickets?
Not only for this year, but for next year too.
Have you? Good.
Yes.
This guy's prepared, Adam.
And I bring my radio to the game so I could hear the broadcast.
Oh, good. That's just ducky. As the puck goes back into the Aero end. Jim Pack hammered it along the boards. Marv on roller skates.
Yeah. A vicious thought, isn't it? There was one time the other team didn't have a goalie, so they just put a stick along the ice. He was stopped on the breakaway.
Oh, no. Story,
but that's another story.
Yeah, this puck's at center ice. It's a 3-3 game. Goaltending has been a story tonight. It's been outstanding, especially from Alan Bester's side of things. Al Conroy steered one out at center, but it was rolled back in by Jeff Reed. And the Solar Bears trying to turn it around. They battle for it at center ice, and Todd Richards is there. Lead pass Turcotte rolls into the Aero zone. Jim Pack goes back to play. Near side, Gord Donnelly. The line for Arneal. He tried to get it out of the zone. He's bumped near side. It came out at center ice, and the Aeros had a 2-on-2 for a second, and now it's turned Lamb looking for Conroy. Conroy cutting in at a goal, and then whoa, looked like the jitterbug there, and down he went. Looks like it, the way I dance. I can't dance. I got ants in my pants, and a penalty coming up to the Houston Aeros.
The only difference is he got up.
Yes, sir. 13:53 to go in the third. 3-3 game, and Kevin Atchison has a call on the Houston Aeros hooking. And
well, this has been the story so far of the game. Special teams. Aeros 0 for 6 in the power play, while the Bears have scored twice in the power play.
And here's your jitterbug, Adam. I think he either stepped on the puck or was trying to kick it to his stick, but both feet went in the air. But later on in this play, a little bit of a hooking call, but he kicks the puck, and I don't know. That's a phantom trip there. I don't know what happened on that play.
There's snipers in the building.
There are.
And the puck is controlled by Orlando. They are 2 for 3 on the power plays. They're offsides here, and they'll face it off at center.
Now, what to look for, Mike? 2 goals for the Solar Bears on power plays, and they came very quickly at the start of the power play.
They certainly did. So I think if the Aeros can make it past maybe the 30-second mark or something, you know, maybe they can kill the whole penalty off. It's maybe that surprise attack that the Solar Bears have that somehow gets by the Aeros.
Mark Buffet across the line had that rejected. It goes all the way back down into the Solar Bear end with 13 and a half to go in the period. 3-3 hockey game. 1:40 left in the Mark Lamb minor. It is Buffet for Orlando. Hammered it into the Aero zone. Gamble got there to Sloan. Jakes hammers it along the boards to Arneal, and he will lob that right back down into the Orlando zone. It bounced for Richards, and Freer nearly took that away. The Solar Bears turn it around. They come on the power play, but that is blocked by Steve Jake. Girls have done a pretty decent job, Greener, of not giving Orlando the blue line tonight in either situation.
They've been standing up well, and that's one thing that Terry Ruskowski was talking about the other day in practice, was that the more you stand up at the blue line, the more they have to dump it in, and it gives you a chance to get at that puck turned over.
Dave Barr for Orlando. Get it to Pat Neaton. Base of the left circle. Power play down to a minute. Neaton at the hash marks. Left side. Trying to get it down. Buffet center. Shot by Fisher. Dribbled down. Gamble kind of gave up on the play. Next thing he knew, that puck was coming at him, and he kicked it out of there.
I think what he did is he stood up to see over the crowd, and the puck ended up at his feet, and he reacted very quickly to kick that puck into the corner.
Solar Bears making a line change, so the Aeros just wait and shoot it back down the ice. Down to 40 seconds on the power play for Orlando. 3-3 hockey game. Duncanson trying to advance it, but DiPietro broken up. The Solar Bears will try it again. That looked offside, but play going on. That looked like an offside play on the Solar Bears. Battle near side. Jeff Reed for Duncanson. He's hammered by Kevin Grant. This guy must have about 4 big takeouts along the boards. Puck comes in for two shot. Gamble stopped it, and it's clear to the line and out at center ice. And the Aeros look like they're going to kill this off as Bester comes out to play, and he flipped it out at neutral ice. Alfie Turcotte had it whacked away by McCrory. Power play is down to 5 seconds. Solar Bears back in their own end, and Scott McCrory doing an outstanding job of forechecking in a 3-3 hockey game. Here come the Solar Bears as the penalty is over. Team to 5 aside. Turcotte dropped it. Duncanson right side the shot, blocked by Pack. They go into the corner. It's chipped away by Lamb, and it's out at center ice and down into the Orlando zone. 11:40 to go in the third period. Drager pass at center for Circa. He will hoist it into the Aero, and it'll bounce behind the net. The Aeros Donnelly gets there. That is icing, and play halted. 11.5 to go in the third. It's a 3-3 hockey game. Terry Ruskowski will be right back after this. Back inside the Summit 3-3 hockey game with 11.5 to go and some marvelous chances for Orlando.
And a good save by Gamble as he drags the leg there. The rebound gets past number 25 for the Orlando Solar Bears, Jeff Reed, and the puck is eventually cleared out of the zone. No goal for the Orlando Solar Bears on that power play.
And the puck controlled by Orlando in behind the net, hammered near side. It hit Kerry Clark right in the entrails, but it came out at center ice. Eisenhut got it into the Aero zone. Gamble out of the net to play it, and it's jammed to the near side. And the Aeros trying to advance it. Graham Townsend flipped it not out though. Eisenhut winding, shooting, great save by Gamble. Got a right pad out of there, and it was rejected out at center ice. Here come the Aeros. It is Townsend busting across line. He's hauled down, no penalty, and Townsend sliding from his back got a shot away, and Bester made a save. Here come the Solar Bears. Drager carried across the line. Look left side, it was pushed away. And the Aeros trying to move it. Eisenhut, though, for Orlando. To the near side, it's played by Kerry Clark. Clark, along the near side, lost it. It came out at neutral ice. Todd Richards turns it around to the left side. Brought in by Drager. Aeros come out to slow, and Steve Jakes is there. Quick pass for Laniel. Moving to the right side, he got it into the Orlando zone, and Tilley is back. Tilley watched by Turgeon, and he came away with it. Brad Tilley carried out to the left side. Mark Buffet scampering neutral ice with Barr. Crosses the line with Neaton. Great pass. Neaton in on goal. Sinnet! They score! Dave Barr got it down low on Gamble, and the Solar Bears take a 4-3 lead with 10:14 to go.
Had him a nice three-way passing play, and you know, I was thinking as they were crossing that red line, boy, do they have a lot of speed, and they made that puck dance as they passed it back and forth, eventually coming to Barr. But first, Buffet getting across the line with a nice pass to Patrick Neaton, and the puck comes across the Barr, and he beats Gamble 5-hole as he slides one right through his legs. But what a great passing play. They come down with speed. The Aeros not able to catch up on the play. And Barr with his 8th goal of the season. This one is one for the highlight reels.
You know, that's also a blind pass right in the slot. 3 of the 4 goals against the Aeros have been right in the slot area. Open Solar Bears getting the shot off.
Aeros back in their own end, and they clear it out at center ice. It's back into Aero territory and turn around by Sylvain Turgeon. Turgeon to Lamb, dropped it back. Turgeon winding, shooting, and that thing was a heat-seeking missile that found its way back into the stands, and a souvenir with 9:53 to go. 4-3 hockey game. Folks, join the Houston Aeros November 17th in a tribute to the Beatles. The popular Beatlemania group will be here to perform throughout the game. Let it be, and don't miss out on Beatlemania night, November 17th at the Summit with your Houston Aeros. We look forward to having you there. Face off after that Turgeon shot. I'll tell you, this guy, Sylvain Turgeon, just keeps whacking away.
Well, you know, after 82 shots through the first 2 periods for Turgeon, now, you know, if 83 is the charm, it'll work. But, you know, for the Aeros, they've been skating in quicksand all night. They've been out hustling the Solar Bears. They've been out shooting the Solar Bears. But every time they look up on the scoreboard, they're either tied or behind. And that's the case now, 1 goal back.
Circa trying to clear it for Orlando, and it's pried away by DiPietro. Looks for Slivchenko. It went behind that. DiPietro hauled down, trying to draw the penalty. Will not get it. Terry Clark out at center ice. Here come the Solar Bears. It's shot in by Duncanson, wide of the net. Eisenhut trying to center it, swatted by Gamble. The Solar Bears unofficially with just 17 shots on goal and 4 goals. That's 13 saves for Troy Gamble. Behind that, Gamble wanted to play it. Tipped away by Duncanson. Bumped near side by Pack. Jim Pack was there and then trying to dodge a Kerry Clark check. Here come the Aeros. Slivchenko, lead pass, DiPietro shoots, and his shot just went wide. That thing cut right through the crease and may have even grazed the post. Just barely, though. Eisenhut a drive, and Gamble a right pad save. It's turned left side circuit, trying to get it down, blocked by Miles O'Connor. Lead pass, Freer at center ice. He's got 3 guys to beat, though, and it's picked up by Todd Richards, and Freer takes him into the boards with a good hit. Tell you, the Aeros have played a physical hockey game tonight, Greener. That has got to be encouraging for Terry Ruskowski and Dave Tippett. A left side pass looking for Buffet. Laniel jammed it loose. It came down for Fisher, who's got a goal in the hockey game. Worked on by Jakes and rolled near side for Scott Arneal. 8:34 to go in the hockey game. Solar Bears lead it 4-3. Puck down in the corner. Bester jammed it loose. Up the high. Better hold on to that. And then he was going to play it, and then he said no, and he will hold on with 8:26 to go in the third. It's Orlando 4, the Aeros 3. More IHL action from the Summit when we return. 4-3 hockey game along with Mike Greenlay, Al Albert, Adam Gordon, and what an exciting hockey game. You seem to get all the good ones.
The last time I was here, treated to a shootout, and I just have that gut feeling, Adam. We're going to go to shootout land again tonight.
The Aeros.
The question of who scores the arrow goal to tie it up.
All right, let's call it. What do you got, Greener?
Oh, let me see. I'm going to go with Turgeon just because I like.
That was my choice.
I like irony.
I'll go with Mike Yo.
All right, and I will go with Graham Townsend. And the Aeros turn it around. Jim Pack to Scott Arneal. He'll bring it down the left side and into the Orlando zone. Freer trying to gather it in. And he's bumped by Neaton. Actually, can I change? I want Freer. It's just.
You almost got him.
I know. I wanted to get it in time as the puck comes out of it. I do want Mark Freer.
Why don't you wait until after he scores the goal and then make your choice?
Yes. No, I just.
See, that's the kind of guy he is. That's the way he bets.
All right. There it is. Freersy, you know,
Yeah,
I love talking to Freersy because I'll tell you, he's just so even-keeled about everything. And that's the kind of demeanor you mean when you're kind of going through a struggle that he is right now.
Yeah, I liked actually Troy Gamble, but I decided to go with Mike Yo. But so you have 2 guys who are struggling, Freer and Turgeon. So it has to be one of them.
It couldn't be any more fitting. I'm going to stick with Freer. Sorry, Towner, too. And Towner's played great. I probably am going to eat my words.
Well, I tell you what, the surprising non-pick is DiPietro. He's been lighting it up as of late, so, I don't know.
Are you
No, I'm not changing.
Okay.
I'm not changing. I'm not one of those kind of people.
As they say, it's post time, folks. The bets are down.
Meanwhile, they're down by 1.
Yes, puck came out in front, and the Orlando Solar Bears were there to turn it around. And the right side, Dave Barr at center, trying to move it through the neutral zone. Laniel bumped him along the boards, and Al Conroy goes back. Conroy to the far side. Jake's looking for Lamb. Can he get it out of the zone? No, he cannot. It's held at the left point, but Turgeon battling there. It came out at center ice. Sylvain Turgeon, lead pass for Lamb. He'll bring it in with Conroy. Here is Lamb. Looks down, Al Conroy. He's got Turgeon. They get Laniel in behind the net. Here's Turgeon, right side to the line. That's blocked. And the Solar Bears came to center ice. Mark Buffet. And it jammed away by Turgeon. I'll tell you, he has absolutely no goals in this hockey game, but he has played a whale of a hockey game tonight.
He's played excellent, getting a lot of chances, not making good on them, but he's played well defensively as well. So a good game for Turgeon this far.
It is Slivchenko at center, trying to move it through Duncanson. Scampers right side, got it into the Orlando zone. Bester gobbled up, left behind the net. And the Bears trying to turn it around, leading 4-3 with 6:48 to go in the third. Duncanson into the Aero zone, right side Clark. And it came out in front. Gamble, I think, had to close the pillows on it, and then it went to the near side. Jim Pack got it out at center ice. It'll go all the way down the ice. And will it be icing? No. Bester's forced to play it. Drenger will turn. He's worked on by Slivchenko. But the Bears were there. Richards, right side pass. Miscarry. Clark gets out at center. Jim Pack takes a bump from Eisenhut. And they're going to whistle the Aeros dead on the offside. 6:23 to go in the third period. It's Houston trailing this hockey game 4-3, and Terry Ruskowski trying to find something to get him back and tie it.
And he's seen his team play one of their best games of the year, but still trails by 1, and now faces the defensive wall of the Solar Bears.
You know what, though, and you talk about when teams get frustrated. You don't get frustrated when you play bad. When you play bad, you look at yourself and say, hey, I played bad. But when you play well and still can't score goals or win, that's where frustration sets in. and I hope it doesn't set in on these guys because they played a whale of a game. I hope they keep going because there's a lot of game left, Adam.
Off the face-off, Bears trying to get it in ahead, but Jakes was there, and it's rolled back down by Graham Townsend, stopped by Bester, and Todd Richards back in to the near side, fires it off the glass. It's on at center ice for Alfie Turcotte. He got it into Aero territory. Jakes lines it up, trying to get it out of the zone. He was pursued by Hartman, but he got it out at center ice. It's rolled back in by Orlando. This has been a spunky Aero team tonight. They've played a very physical, but yet they've turned it on when they've had to, but just can't get anything by Alan Bester right now. Here's a puck going back into the Orlando zone, and it's controlled by Tilley. Forechecked by Arneal as the Aeros set up a little bit in their 1-2-2 forecheck, which is just a trap. And the Solar Bears just hammer it all the way out into the Aero end. Jim Pack gives to Miles O'Connor, but that puck sails into the Orlando zone, and back to play at Patrick Neaton. Hammered this one the length of the ice. Will it go wide of the crease? Yes, just barely, and that will produce an icing call as Miles O'Connor goes back. 5:22 to go in the third in a 4-3 hockey game, and Troy Gamble hasn't seen a lot of work tonight, but he's given up 4.
And, you know, I mean, and some of the goals that they've scored on Troy Gamble have been relatively good goals, or they've been unfortunate goals, like the one that came off the backboards from a Craig Fisher shot and was banked in by Beaufait on the power play. But you know what? Sometimes you have to ask your goaltender to make saves that he normally is not expected to make. And I think that's the thing. That's the thing that Bester has done.
Well, right now it's up to Bester. 5:22 to go. He knows he's going to get the final assault of the Houston Aeros. He is tired. He has faced so many shots, and it still comes down to him.
It still could turn around here, and that's unfortunate for him. But the Aeros could still come back and tie this one up. And you know what? There's no shame in winning this one in a shootout.
Turgeon to Conroy. Got it in. It's not how you win them, as long as you win them. Puck near side, Pat Neaton trying to clear it to the line, not out. Jim Pack held it in. Sliced it for Conroy. Al Conroy, base of the right circle, looks, rolled it down for Miles O'Connor, reversed it for Lamb behind the net, away from Brad Tilley. That puck scampered, took a hop off the mullion. It came out in front, and Tilley cleared it out at center ice for Mark Beaufait. Beaufait across the line, shoots it into the Aero zone, and Miles O'Connor will go back. It is O'Connor. Weaves a pass out to Slivchenko. Slivchenko hits the line, shoots one in, it's blocked. Here's Yeo shooting. Ooh, that ricocheted off a skate. It hit Circa and then rose but went wide of the net. So Bester not forced to make a stop there. Close call though. Pocket center ice. And it's cleared by Eisenhut into the Aero zone. Back to get it for Houston is Laniel. He's bumped by Hartman. Aero's trying to get it out of there. And Houston's Mike Yeo can't clear the zone. It's down into the corner with time down to 4:06 to play. Eisenhut in the right corner looking for Duncanson. Cuts in. Duncanson waiting, turns it down. The shot ricocheted wide, goes far side. Todd Richards pitching from home at the point, got it behind. Eisenhut had it jabbed away. They go at it though. Good work along the boards by the Orlando Solar Bears, and the Aeros are finally going to get a chance to clear it. It is Slivchenko slicing by a check, got it to the line, and he's out at center ice. Slivy flying at neutral ice. He's got her in high gear across the line. Dropped DiPietro, and he wanted to pull the trigger, couldn't. Here's DiPietro for Pack, who's got some room to motor. Cuts in behind the net, shakes off one check. He tried to center. Pack again along the boards, looks in front, and finally the Solar Bears will shoot it down the ice. An icing call they need. And as it rolls in behind the net, Townsend will play. We take a timeout. It's Orlando 4, the Aeros 3, 3:20 left. Don't go away, we'll be right back. 4-3 Orlando leads it. Shots on goal 32-18, and I guess the old stat comes back to haunt the Aeros. I guess if they want to win, they can't outshoot their opponents.
That's true. They just can't seem to get the puck by Bester. They've gotten 3 by him. They need 4 or 5 to win this one.
I like it in a shootout. The Aeros have had their way with Alan Bester. Scott Arneal knows Alan Bester as well as anyone. I think Arneal is 2 for 2 in shootouts against Bester going back to last year against San Diego. Near side Arneal trying to move it along, bumped by Reed. Jim Pack is there as he is watched, and nearly turned it over, but it came out. No, not out. It teetered the blue line. Finally, the Aeros get it out at center. Arneal rolled it into the Orlando zone. It's pried away. Dave Barr got it out for Beaufait. Pinching was O'Connor. It came out at center ice. Jim Pack, forecheck by Reed. Pack in his own end for Arneal. 2:39 to go, and a 4-3 Orlando lead. And the puck goes into the Aero end. Gamble slows for Pack. Pack to center ice, Townsend. It goes into the Orlando zone. Tilly is back to play, in behind the net. Slammed it near side. Turgeon came smoking in there, couldn't pry it away. Duncanson hoists it out at center, and it's controlled by Jakes. But he turned it over to Eisenhut, and he'll gently roll it into the Orlando end, or into the Arrow end. Laniel with 2:10 to play. Out and out at center ice, Todd Richards fired it back into the Arrow zone. Out of the net, Gamble. He'll slow for Steve Jakes. 2 minutes left. Jakes to Lamb, and that hit Jerry Mines. That's a save for Jerry Mines, the trainer. And he's got himself a souvenir. And Terry Ruskowski again pacing the bench. And in the NBA, you've seen a lot of coaches. Terry is about as intense a coach you'll find in the IHL. Who would you liken in the NBA to a Terry Ruskowski as an intense coach?
Pat Riley, same hairdo, slick back. You know, if you have the hairdo, you're intense.
Well, on his desk in the office, Terry Ruskowski's got Pat Riley's book.
There you go.
It's exactly.
There you go. There it is.
But Pat's got a certain demeanor about him, as does Terry. Different demeanors.
I'd say they make a different fashion statement.
Oh.
But the hair is slick back. And what would Pat Riley do at this point in a game? 2 minutes to go, down by 1.
Give the ball to Jabbar. That's what he would do. And in this case, if you're Orlando, I guess give the puck to Shaquille, right? Puck is involved.
Who is Ruskowski going to give the puck to? Mike Yo.
Yeah, here comes Turgeon.
There's the Turgeon shot.
It's stopped by Besky. Did you stay with Turgeon?
I did. If he'd have scored from there, I'd have jumped on the ice and hugged him.
It's out at center ice. Eisenhut rolling ahead, and Jakes is there with 1:35 left. Give it up to Conroy, trying to bank it ahead for Laniel. Sliced by the defense. Turgeon trying to get there. Tilly rode into the corner, and now the net is empty. So the Arrows to an extra attacker with 1:24 left. Lamb trying to move it along the boards. Conroy looking for Turgeon. Reversed it behind the net as the Arrows have a net that's empty. It'll go down the ice. Will it be icing? I doubt it. I don't know if it's got enough steam. Well, it will. So a break for the Arrows. That is going to be icing, and they will bring the faceoff back. If you're Terry Ruskowski, would you take a timeout right now, maybe? And yes, there it is.
Hey, see, he did it again.
Yeah,
he waited for something to happen. He said, would you do it? I love it.
Well,
no, but I tell you what, it is a smart move. Even if he doesn't need to talk to the players about anything specific, it's a good idea because it gives the players a breather, and then he can throw his big boys out there again.
And Pat Riley would also take a timeout at this point. Set up the final play.
While we have a chance, Saturday nights, you need to keep them open. UPN Sports has teamed up with the Houston Aeros for Saturday Night on Ice. The next televised road game, Saturday, November 25th, as the same Orlando Solar Bears at home take on the Houston Aeros. Tune into UPN 20 Sports, home of the Houston Aeros. And our next telecast on Prime, November 29th at 7 o'clock, the Indianapolis Ice make their first appearance this year. And what a wild game we had last year when Indianapolis was here. The Arrows had a 5-2 lead after one period of play and lost 6-5 in the hockey game.
Ouch. So, those are the kind you want to forget. I tell you what, don't forget the game on Friday. We play Atlanta in 2 days, and that'll be the last game at home until that 29th telecast and against Indianapolis. So get your tickets now.
All right, here, let's set it up. Face off left side of Alan Bester. The Arrows have Al Conroy, Scott Arneal, Graham Townsend, Mark Freer, Paul DiPietro with Miles O'Connor, Mark Laniel. Mark Beaufait for Orlando centers a line with Jeff Reed, Dave Barr with Todd Richards, and Jeff Circa.
Hey, I'm going to ask a question. Where is Townsend going to go?
I wonder. Where's the net? Folks, for those of you watching on Prime, keep an eye on Townsend. He's going to set up camp in front of the net, but he's also a guy with the strength to move the puck along the boards as well. Arrows win the draw. O'Connor turns. Oh, but he lost the puck, and it came out at center ice. O'Connor fished it over to Conroy. It's dumped into the Orlando zone. Bester wanted to play it, but Circle was there. Jammed it near side, but picked away by DiPietro. Behind the net. It's centered, but tipped away by Dave Barr. Arrows had a nice chance in front. It came to the boards, and it's cleared all the way down the ice, and this will be an icing call as O'Connor flies back to play it with 43 seconds to go in the third period, and a 4-3 hockey game in favor of Orlando, and Miles O'Connor had a chance but lost it at center ice.
And this is the kind of play that you want to have where everyone's going to the net, and you just let one of those defensemen like Miles O'Connor and who else is on the point? I think it's Laniel on the point. And you just want to let them just start heating it up and drive guys to the net. Hey, sometimes that puck has eyes and it gets through there somehow, even if it's for a shot on goal and maybe a rebound afterwards.
That was the perfect setup. Start with a shot from the point.
Face off, right side of Bester. Aeros win the draw. It's Laniel. Quick shot hits. Oh, Bester! Robbing his former teammate in skirt on Arneal. And oh, if you get rid of the E, it's almost Arneal, as he almost had a marvelous chance. He did have a great chance, but Bester came up big.
I don't believe that save. I thought it was a sure goal. What we said, a shot on goal. Watch the open net. I don't know how he got across there, but what a save by Bester, as Arneal, he just frustrated on that one. But geez, Bester's on his knees and he somehow dives across and just thwarts Arneal's chance. And Bester, with 31 saves tonight and 71 in his last 2 games, has been on fire, and he hurt himself a bit as he took that one in the palm of the glove hand. But what a save, and that's the kind of big save a team needs with 37 seconds left. I tell you what, that was like a sure goal, except it wasn't. I mean, that's as close to a sure goal as you can get.
And you're not going to believe this, but Scott Arneal was my second choice of a guy to score. But I think Bester feels as if he's faced 71 shots tonight, and with that save, just about secures the first star. But he knows there's still 37.8 seconds to go, and the face-off just to his left.
And it could be another big save opportunity for him if the Aeros can get a couple more shots.
And the difference in tonight's game than in the past, the Aeros are winning these key face-offs. They won 2 in a row. Let's see what happens here. They won it again, but it was too much for Laniel to handle. It came out at center. Net is still empty as Laniel turns in his own zone. Fired one ahead for Arneal. Turned by Townsend, and he dumps it in strong to the far corner. Circa is back with the puck on edge, and he will turn but can't clear. A bouncing puck, but it's picked up by Duncanson. Held by Conroy. Time down to 17 seconds. Todd Richards chased it down near side. Bumped by Arneal. Gobbled up by Townsend. Looks down for deep. Pietro Arneal centered but blocked, and it's cleared out at center ice, and that will be the hockey game. Laniel is back. Well, it will not quite be the hockey game as Laniel got there with 3 seconds left after the icing call. It's enough to win the draw and get a shot away, but it looks like the Orlando Solar Bears, unless some Aeros get a miracle goal here, are going to go on to win it 4-3.
And I tell you what, Adam, I have seen goals scored with this kind of time left. What you need is a draw straight back to the point, someone to just tee one up and let it go. I tell you, it has happened. I mean, with all the unbelievable things we've seen tonight, I'm not ruling that out right now, I tell you.
Yeah, I've seen a goal scorer off a face-off, similar situation, in 1 second.
Oh, so yeah. They just, you know what, and I'm not sure whether they're going to use this as one of their tactics, but whoever's taking the draw, and with you look who's out there right now, it'll likely be Lamb. If he just goes straight forward with it, then he can shoot the puck right through Bester's legs if he gets it off quick enough, but I doubt they'll do that. He might just play it forward and just go to the net.
Then look at Mike Yeo for Al Albert. That's what you're looking for, is Yeo to get a goal, but at this point anybody will do fine in a white sweater.
Well, look for everyone to go straight to the net, because I have a feeling that Lamb's going to go straight forward with it or bring it back to Turgeon.
Or bring it back to Turgeon.
1 chance for the Aeros. 3 seconds to go. 3.4 if you're being exact. That's enough to win the draw and get a big drive. Lamb needs to win it cleanly, though. Back to Turgeon. Face off to the right side of Bester. Lamb ready against Mark Buffet. Sticks down. He won it back, but it's hammered by Yeo. It's out at center ice, and that is the hockey game. Well, it was a valiant effort by the Houston Aeros, but they were bested by that guy, Alan Bester, and Terry Ruskowski comes up 1 goal short, but he's got to be happy about the way his team played tonight.
You know, and you keep saying that, Adam, and it's true. The Aeros have showed such improvement in the last little while, but they can't come up with a win. And, you know, they scored 3 goals tonight, 3 good goals. But I tell you what, I guess just couldn't top the Bester, as he just was unbelievable. And I tell you what, Scott Arneal will have nightmares about that save that he made on him all night long.
All right, 4-3 the final. We'll have some final thoughts when we return. Final score, the Orlando Solar Bears 4, Houston Aeros 3. For Mike Greenlay and Al Albert, this is Adam Gordon saying good night from the summit.